What's going on? Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of Off the Schneid. Last episode, I lost you guys in about the 12th round or whatever it was, 12th, 13th round. Lost connection, but it is what it is. It was a little unplugging some cords, and it is what it is. But we're back. Should be fine today. I'm not too concerned about that happening again. And we're just going to be ripping drafts. So we're going to fill up this this pit bull. I have 6 remaining. I really like how they did the 15-second clock. That's awesome. I didn't get to take advantage of it before, so I'm excited to give that a whirl. I've done 4 so far, so we're doing 6 drafts tonight. I'm not going to overlap. I'm just going to kind of do one at a time. So let's jump into the first one. We'll be doing 15-second drafts, waiting on 11. So if you're in the chat, you want to jump in, tons of space. The water's nice. 1 in, waiting on 10. Oh, that person left. So yeah, we're going to be just ripping 6 in a row. Hopefully, I think this is slowed down a little bit. I thought it would be, I didn't think it would be full right now, but I thought it would be a lot closer to being full. So obviously with only a 10 max, $20 entry, I guess that's a little lucrative, I suppose, but it is for some, obviously, and there's no shame in that. Let's check out the 30-second. Wait on 3. Okay, so let's do that. Let's do that one. I'll stick around in the 15-second until this 30-second fills. I don't want to do 30-second drafts, if I'm being honest, because that'll be a bit of a marathon. I want to get this smashed out as relatively quickly as we can, doing 6 drafts in a row. So it's not going to be the shortest episode of all time. That's for sure. So we got +3 in the 30-second, +8 in the 15-second. So again, if you're in the chat, jump in. Let me know if you're in. Waiting on 3, I think, in the 30-second now. Wow. Okay, so I don't want to do 2. Crap, I don't remember which is which. I think this is the... Man, I got to leave 1. Hopefully I'm in the 15-second, because God. All right, we're going with this one. Hopefully it's a 15-second clock. We're in the 3 spot. I like that. Don't recognize anybody in the room. So we'll see. I'm going to pull up my pit bull with only 10 max entry. I want to know where I'm light. Justin Jefferson 63, or 67. How is that with 4? If I have 4 drafts, that doesn't make sense. I maybe didn't send one yet. It's a spike week. Okay, cool. That's all right. It is what it is. Hopefully this is the 15-second, because if it's the 30, that's going to be a touch excruciating, but it'll be okay. It'll be fine either way. So I definitely need to get some Tyreek. I would love to get some Christian McCaffrey, but that's not likely to happen at the 3 spot. 15-second clock. Hooray. Little bit of badgeless. We'll see how that works out. Cheers. Cheers. Lamb, let's go Tyreek, because I don't have a share yet. So let's go Tyreek. And then I'm not going to worry about correlation. Anytime I draft Tyreek Hill, honestly, I'm not really thinking about correlating that game. If I do, it's typically like Jerome Ford or David Njoku, or if I get boxed out. And then it does open up some back doors if you get boxed out at quarterback or just, you know, stacking in general, then you can claw your way back, you know, later on in the draft. So we'll see. We'll see. I'd like to, and I'm not too worried about getting unique at this point. In these time block sort of drafts, I'm not super duper concerned about getting unique, at least not here. Yeah, I think there's gonna be a ton of variance from closing line value from where we're at right now. I don't really know how to attack that, if I'm being honest with you, because I wouldn't call this high stakes. That's for sure. But it is time block and it's only 10 max, like 10 entries, which is interesting because you can't really try too many different things. Obviously, you only have so many bullets. So I don't know. It's a really, really interesting sort of structure that I really like. Fantasy Football Garage, what's up, man? Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. If you want to jump in a draft, we're ripping a bunch. This is the first one. So we'll be filling out the max entry on the Pit Bull. I think it'll fill by probably tomorrow, but it is slowing down like crazy, which is kind of interesting. I thought this would feel pretty quick, to be honest. But it is what it is. So I don't think I'm going to go Waddle, even if he's there. Debo, yeah, for sure. I'm probably going to go Devontae Smith if Debo's not there. Cool. So let's go Devontae Smith. I'd like to get more Jalen Hurts exposure if the AJ Brown drafter doesn't take him. I'm not going to reach on him. That's for damn sure. So if the AJ Brown drafter doesn't take Jalen Hurts, then I can take him on the, 3-4 turn or 4-5 turn. So yeah, I don't want to stack up Miami. What do I think about the 15-second clock? I didn't get to do it when so we're going looking DK, DJ Moore, Cooper Kupp. I'm gonna go DK is who I was going. So there you go. There's a prime example of I haven't done too much of this 15-second clock because I've autoed a lot in the 4 that I've done of these Pit Bulls. I've done all 4 15-second clocks. I didn't get to do it when it first came out with those. I think they were the Schnauzers. I didn't draft any of them because I knew they would feel like that. And I was kind of I think this is a terrible time to draft, if I'm being honest, unless it's like time blocks like this one, like this 10 max or a poodle or something like that, then I don't mind. But I really do not want to be drafting Best Ball Mania right now. As much as I possibly can avoid it, I am, avoiding it. But I like it. I like it a lot. It makes the drafts go, essentially half the time. So 25 minutes, something like that. You could typically pound out a 30-second clock, draft in about 45 minutes, typically 45, 50 minutes, something like that. So it's like 20 to 30, we'll call it 20 to 30 minutes. That's awesome. Especially again, when I'm just going to hammer out 6 of them in a row here. So I like it. I think it's tough to, I got to remind myself to keep track of the clock. Cause again, I've autoed so much just thinking I have more time when obviously you have half the time to make your pick. So, yeah, it's a nice time lock to replace doing too many BBMs. Exactly. So yeah, that's exactly why I'm loving this exact tournament. If it was a poodle, the poodle 2, something like that would be perfectly fine. Because again, I've been saying it for like a week and a half, like July 1st, essentially until training camp opens is the absolute worst time to be drafting, in my opinion. So I'm trying to avoid it like the plague. And I'm about halfway. I'm almost 75 drafts into my BBM. Bullets. So I really want to slow down until training camp opens and we get some clarity on a lot of things. And I'm going to do a stream probably, I don't know, the week before, something like that, where we'll be talking through some camp battle stuff, some stuff that I want to see some clarity on, that I'm excited to see some clarity on, and just some players within that realm that we can kind of talk about, and who do I think is going to kind of win that battle, that sort of a thing. It should be an interesting stream, I hope. Should be fun. So there we go. It worked out. Jalen Hurts. That's what I wanted. I need some more exposure, especially in Best Ball Mania. But again, I have, half my bullets to go. Drafters make mistakes with shorter times of 100%. So that's one reason I love having the Spike Week tool. I know Fantasy Dog Pound has his own role in now, which is cool. Good for him. That's awesome. But either way, having something, as an overlay that'll help you make decisions, on the fly is borderline essential, borderline completely crucial and necessary. But yeah, so I'm happy to have this tool. That's for sure. So what do I want to do here? Don't want to go running back pretty well at all. Hollywood Brown is there, but I think I'm just going to go Dalton Kincaid. Love me some Dalton Kincaid. Want to be fairly highly exposed to him in a tournament like this. So 212, 16, 15. That's pretty nice to get to the final, 156 seat final. And you make $500. So what's a max entry in this? $200. So you more than double your money, 2.5 times your money for making it to the final. So if you can get there in these short kind of pods, 1 to 6, 1 to 5. So I'm looking at higher floor with also the high upside. Again, Dalton Kincaid is certainly within that realm of tight end. Absolutely. So yeah. I like fitting them into smaller blocks of free time instead of 45 to 50-minute commitment. 100%. Let's just say it's literally like half, or less than half, you could certainly say. So 20 to 30 minutes to pound out a draft. Yeah, that's absolutely the direction I'm going to be going. I like it. I like it quite a bit. Like I said, I didn't get to do it at all with the Schnauzer when they had those the three different options. What was it? 10, 15, and 30 or something like that, or 15, 20, 30, something like that. I didn't get to try any of them. So I was stoked when they had it for this. And I'm wondering, it's going to be interesting to get them, like Underdog's going to get some data from this. And I guarantee you the massive majority of pods, of drafts, of whatever you want to call it, are the 15-second variety. So I'd be interested to see how different it is. Obviously, you could take the slow drafts out of it, the 8-hour clocks kind of out of it, because whoever's going to slow draft is going to slow draft regardless, and regardless of tournament selection. So it'd be interesting to see the difference between 30-second clock and 15-second clock, just how many there were of each. But I'd be willing to bet that it's definitely on the 15-second side of things. Wasn't really paying attention, so let's get back into this. Where am I going to go? Roma Dunze haven't clicked yet, so I wouldn't mind going that route with DK Metcalf already there. A little bit of ADP value, which is absolutely going to be happening. Roma Dunze needs to fall below DeAndre Hopkins 100%. He has to fall below him. I was clicking him a lot earlier, which. He was just going. Now that he's falling, I'm clicking him less because he's just too close to these other, again, DeAndre Hopkins, typically Brian Thomas Jr., even you could say Deontay Johnson, and then some of these running backs, tight ends, things like that. And there he goes. So how do I not click DeAndre Hopkins here? I don't know. So I kind of have to click him. I don't know how you don't. Especially, I just can't do Roma Dunze over Nuke Hopkins anymore. I have a ton of exposure to DeAndre Hopkins regardless, but I will absolutely keep clicking him if he's going to be there. Man, CJ Stroud it hurts my brain to let him fall like that. Wow. Could go Jackson Smith and Jigba. But I'm going to go Evan Ingram here. Nope, I'm not going to go Evan Ingram. Jeez, almost did it. Don't want to overlap bye weeks with Dalton Kincaid, that's for sure. So maybe I shouldn't have clicked Dalton Kincaid, but that's okay. Now I'm going to have to find a Chicago bringback, which might be DeAndre Swift. Cole Kmet could be on the table with a high floor, high upside Dalton Kincaid. So I could go that route, but if I'm being honest, in this tournament, in Best Ball Mania, I would no doubt look for a bringback 100%. But in this tournament, I don't think it's necessary. As long as I have, another kind of game stack that I can lean on with a smaller final, 156 seats in the final, right? So you don't have to have the nuts, right? You really, really don't. So yeah, I mean, maybe DeAndre Swift just because I'm already 0 RB. So if I am going to do a bring back with the Chicago Bears, it's going to be DeAndre Swift for sure. Maybe Roschon, maybe. We'll see. But it's going to be DeAndre Swift almost for sure. I don't think Cole Kmet makes a lot of sense here. To be honest, it's probably Jake Ferguson that makes more sense because of the Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith, Jake Ferguson, week 17. That makes sense to lean on that stack more than a Seattle, Chicago, right? So the only reason I would bring it back with a Chicago player and being DeAndre Swift is because, again, I'm 0 RB. So it makes sense kind of regardless, in my opinion. So that's what I'm already loosely thinking. And if he's going to be there at 94 right here, then I might as well click him as my first running back. Because it just makes too much sense. And there he goes. That's not the end of the world. That's completely fine. And Jake Ferguson went already. Should have. Yep, that's fine. So it is what it is. I'm not going to be exceptionally correlated on this team. It's just not going to happen. Really wanted Zamir White there. I might have to take Joe Burrow because I don't like to see him fall. Or David Njoku to match it up with Tyreek Hill, week 17, little mini game stack. I don't mind that. This is a really kind of dead spot for what I'm doing right now. It doesn't make a lot of sense to reach too far on anybody. It doesn't make sense to pick a quarterback here. Realistically, I'm kind of leaning into a Geno click. And then, yeah, I need to take some running back here. So I'm going to have to, oh man, how do I not take Joe Burrow? I'm going to take Joe Burrow just because I can't let it happen. It's a good advancement piece. Like this is already this team is in a good spot to advance already. A really good spot to advance, I think. So done at tight end. I'm done at quarterback. I can just hammer running back. Obviously a little bit of wide receiver. Chase Brown I can bring in. That's the thing about guys pushing Joe Burrow. I've been saying this a lot. Don't push Joe Burrow too far. Someone's going to take him naked. I do it all the time because you can always click Chase Brown, Jermaine Burton, Mike Gesicki, and if you like any of the other, Iasovis, Charlie Jones, if you like some of the other, wide receivers for the Bengals, there you go. Go nuts. I think, let's see where the Jamar Chase drafter was. Yeah, he takes Jaden Daniels over Lamar, clearly leaning into running quarterbacks here. No correlation, which is less important in this tournament. I will say that it's less important to correlate, but you should still mix it in. Like you still need to lean into 156, final. It might be nice to have one pass catcher and a bring back, right, with your quarterbacks. But what do I know? We'll see. And then the T. Higgins drafter. Yeah, just tried to push him too far. Should have probably taken him there if he wanted him. Gets Caleb Williams with Keenan Allen, DJ Moore. He's clearly leaning into the Chicago, so that's fine. I don't mind that. But either way, I'm just as general counsel over here. Don't push Joe Burrow too far because someone will take him naked. Absolutely. Someone will click that name. Just because it's kind of criminal for him to fall that far. So what do I want to do? I could always bring it back with Brandon Cooks here. I don't mind that. Makes sense. And then I've got Chase Brown to click. 3 running backs for both of these teams already. So that's kind of what I'm going to have to do. Unless I want to double click running back, which I don't. I just don't like this range for what I'm doing. So it's going to be Brandon Cooks. Let's do that. Make it easy. And then it's going to be Chase Brown. The pass catching option on the Bengals. I know he struggled with, and here's the thing, almost every rookie running back struggles in pass pro. Almost every single rookie running back, unless they're an absolute stud. And even then, they probably have some difficulties. But rookies do struggle. That's a bit of a reach there for Ty Chandler. And you all know how much I love Ty Chandler, but that's a little early for my liking. Correlating. Yeah, it's the last piece. I do it a lot too with if I'm going Green Bay, that's kind of my correlating piece a lot is Ty Chandler, but a little bit of a reach. It is what it is. You had to do it, you feel. So give her. What was I babbling about there? I don't remember, but oh yeah, rookie running backs struggling all the time. Almost always. So you have to think that he's going to improve. At least that's the way I'm looking at it. For guys like, again, Chase Brown. I mean, Jaleel McLaughlin, he's just really small. So it's going to be, that much more difficult for him to be a capable pass protector out in the backfield. 5'7", 180, 190 maybe on a good day in gumboots full of water, right? But he's going up against 6 foot, 6'3", 250 linebackers, right? It's just a massive mismatch. So Jaleel McLaughlin's a little bit different. He just is going to struggle because he's small. He's going to be a good click probably for this team. I might look at that and it makes tons of sense. I'm 0 RB. I kind of have to. But he's just so explosive. But Chase Brown, I think, can improve to the point where he's capable. And he's going to hopefully force his way onto the field a little bit more often, especially on those passing downs. Because he's, in theory and in practice, from what I've seen with my eyes, Zach Moss is not the most explosive pass catcher out of the backfield. He's capable. He can get the job done for sure, but it's nice to have Chase Brown back there. He's super fast, way more juice, way more wiggle, way more exciting, way more big play potential, all the above. So yeah, I'm hoping that Chase Brown can improve enough to earn the trust, to get on the field on third downs, and in passing situations, and earn some run that way. Wow, I don't love that Zach Charbonnet is still there with my thank you. Really didn't want to click Zach Charbonnet. I don't love what I've been hearing at a camp from Kendre Miller. Supposedly he took a step back. He's struggling, things like that. But in this situation, I don't particularly have a choice. I mean, I could have reached for Jaleel McLaughlin and Kamani Vidal. I could have went that route, but I should have went Jermaine Burton and Jaleel McLaughlin. Oh, wow, there goes Burton. Yeah, I should have went Burton, McLaughlin. But that is not the end of the world. Yeah, that's a mistake by me. Wasn't paying enough attention. But I need to catch up at running back. Could go Isovis, maybe. Typically, I would only like to take a player like that if I'm going with 9 wide receivers, which I will not be in this draft. So I think that's a mistake by me, almost for sure. That kind of sucks, but it is what it is. It is what it is. In theory, I'm just using Joe Burrow to advance anyways. And then my week 17 core, matchup that I'm trying to lean on in the finals would be, Hurts, Devontae Smith, and Brandon Cooks. I do have Chase Brown and Jaleel McLaughlin with my Joe Burrow, but that's typically not going to be it would be unique if it did, if that is what you need in week 17 to, bink the whole tournament. But I highly doubt that would be it. So again, in theory, I'm leaning into the Eagles Cowboys anyways. And in all honesty, that is the game that you'd be leaning on. Like I've been saying it a lot. I really don't think that the Bengals Broncos is going to be the game that you're going to kind of need. I really, really don't think that that's going to be the case. It's just the Broncos obviously aren't a powerful enough offense to stay with the Bengals, in my opinion. So I don't think it could be that back and forth shootout that you need. But maybe. I think odds are Eagles Cowboys is much more likely to be that game that you need. Kamani Vidal, who's left at running back? Jalen Wright, okay click, but not necessarily in this room. Chuba Hubbard is a most definite click if he's still there, just because of bye weeks. But I will take Antonio Gibson as well. Bucky Irving is certainly on the table. Braylon Allen is kind of not. Jeez. Yeah, it's going to have to be Antonio Gibson. Could lean into the Denver side of that game. I could lean into that and go with either Marvin Mims and Troy Franklin, and that's a way to recover. Could go that route. But I think Bucky Irvin's going to have to be the click. Could go Khalil Herbert, but I think Roshan's the way to go as the what should be the pass catching back. And if he get, more so than Khalil Herbert, I'll say that, right? I have to avoid weeks 12 and 14. In my opinion, I just don't think that you can have half your running backs on bye when you're already fragile. That's something I just don't do. Typically, I don't care about bye weeks depending on who I have, right? Like if you have Jonathan Taylor and Derrick Henry, go ahead and add another week 14 by running back. It's not a big deal, right? You're gonna get your points, but I'm already 0 RB. So that's something I think people don't think about enough is, based on your structure, do your bye weeks make sense? So if you're going a little bit fragile wide receiver, maybe you have to then kind of avoid overlapping bye weeks. Same thing with running back, like I'm doing here. This is a lot more fragile than I would even like. Like I want more options with my 0 RB builds for these guys to enter my lineups as many times as possible. So taking 2 running backs off the table completely in weeks 12 and 14, that only leaves me with 4 options to fill 2 spots 100%. I have to fill 2 running back spots, obviously. So that's something I like to think about mostly with 0 RB because that's way more, frequent and likely than like a fragile wide receiver or 0 wide receiver type of a build. So that's something I'm just kind of very cognizant of when I'm building my 0 RB teams, which is lots of the time. Watch your bye weeks. Maybe I'm completely wrong on that. Maybe it doesn't matter, but that's what I do. I just think it makes sense when you're super fragile. I don't mind Luke McCaffrey here if he's available. Just correlates, especially with I'd like to correlate with Philadelphia here, Washington, Pittsburgh players, right? Just because I have that quarterback pass catcher, get yourself a bring back and make it make sense. Do I have a Pittsburgh player? No, I don't. Obviously, it's red. That's pretty obvious. So a guy like Calvin Austin Jr. Is it Jr.? Calvin Austin, anyways. Makes sense in this build for me, who I am clicking right now. J.K. Dobbins is still off my board completely, personally. So let's go Roschon. That makes a little bit of sense. Now we're done at running back. We got to wrap up our wide receiver room. Yeah, I love how fast these drafts go, man. That's awesome. We just pounded that out in less than about a half hour, less than half an hour. We hammered out this draft. That's awesome. So we're going to immediately jump into another one. DJ Chark makes a lot of sense for correlation, but I just have a really, really hard time clicking him. Let's go with Short King, Greg Dortch. And then it's going to be Calvin Austin, the third, not junior, the third, if he's there. 10% total, 0% in this tournament so far. But I like Calvin Austin. I like Calvin Austin this year. I think he's a sneaky, mostly because he's my bring back. Like if I miss out, like he's my bring back against Baltimore, he's my bring back against KC. If I miss out on, George Pickens, Freiermuth, even Roman Wilson. And, I like Roman Wilson, but that ADP might be a touch of a trap. It's hard to say. If I think Roman Wilson is 100% a slot receiver, and I think he could be a really, really good one. But I also think that Calvin Austin might be the slot receiver there as well. So if that's the case, that might be a camp battle type of thing that we need to keep an eye on. And then who plays on the other side in two wide receiver sets? Probably Van Jefferson, I guess. Quez Watkins might be the guy that wins out there. Obviously it's a low volume passing offense anyways, so whatever, but their playoff schedule is going to dictate that they're going to have to throw the ball, right? Like Philadelphia, Baltimore, Kansas City, that dictates they're probably going to have to throw the ball a little bit, right? They're not going to have a choice. Their defense isn't exceptional. It's still really good, but it's not exceptional, and they're going to get scored on. So that's the reason why I'm drafting a guy like Calvin Austin and Roman Wilson for that matter, and George Pickens at a reasonable clip. But we'll kind of see when we get there. Oh, I'm on the clock. Calvin Austin Jr. There we go. Wrapped it up. I don't love this team, but I wouldn't say I hate it either. Jalen Hurts, Joe Burrow, Chase Brown, Kendre Miller, Jaleel McLaughlin, Antonio Gibson, Bucky Irving, Roschon Johnson, Tyreek Hill, Devontae Smith, DK, Nuke Hopkins, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Brandon Cooks, and we're done. That's fine. Let's jump into another one. I don't think that would be my favorite Pitbull. So we're in another one. Oh, it's the last one. Sorry, guys. If you're in, hopefully you're in. If not, my apologies. Wow, this is pretty badgeless at the top. That's a little nerve-wracking. We're in the 11 hole, which, cracks the door. I would like to get one. I have 0 of this in BBM yet, which is the Puka Marvin Harrison Jr. I have 0 shares of Marvin Harrison Jr. in BBM right now. Do I need to say that again? I have 0 shares of Marvin Harrison Jr. in BBM. And I won't take him unless I get the stack with Puka. Which might lead me to getting more Puka than I would like, because I take him at 10, 11, right? And a lot of times he goes. So you just can't get it. But I'm willing to risk that. I just don't think that a rookie Marvin Harrison Jr. is a necessary click in the first round at the 1-2 turn. I really don't think he's a necessary click over Drake London, over Chris Olave, over Brandon Ayuk, right? Over Devontae Adams. I really don't. I really, really don't. Even over Deebo Samuel. I really do not. I don't think that even if I'm, quote fingers wrong about Marvin Harrison Jr., I don't think it's going to matter. I really don't. Unless he goes out there and has, 1,600 yards and like 18 touchdowns and really shoves it in my face. If that happens, then fuck me, I guess, right? Like it is what it is. And, I'm just super wrong and it is what it is. I'm willing to take that chance that is probably not going to happen. We'll see. We'll see. Let's see if I can get Puka. I'd really like to get that at least once in this pit bull out of my 10. That'd be really cool. Really fun. Need Garrett Wilson to go. Auto pick, AJ Brown. Need Garrett Wilson to go here or Gibbs. There goes Puka. Okay. It's over. It's dead. Garrett Wilson makes the most sense. Like I'm taking Garrett Wilson over Marvin Harrison, obviously. Big reason why, the biggest reason why, yes, I trust Aaron Rodgers more than Kyler Murray. Yes, I do. There I said it. Fight me. Gibbs, Wilson, very, very common, but whatever. That's okay. Again, in these time blocks, not too concerned about it. Really not too concerned about it. I can get unique later. It really is just going to depend on how I build out my team, what my structure is like, correlation, week 17 correlation, obviously. This does open up, fourth round, early fourth round, 38th pick, Josh Allen, which I think is more valuable in this structure with, 1 of 6, 1 of 5. Josh Allen is a big difference maker in those types of structures. Very big difference maker. If it's 1 of 16, 1 of 13, which is what it is in BBM, a little bit of a different story, obviously, right? You don't have to have the nuts, but you have to have, probably the highest scoring player of the week. You pretty much have to have that player. But in a pod of 5 or a pod of 6, it's quite likely that no one's going to have that player. That's very, very possible, right? You just get a little pod luck and you don't need that high scoring player, the highest scoring player, right? So we'll see. But we'll see if he makes it to me. Maybe I don't even get him in the 4th round. It's very possible. But I will be taking him because it just makes there you go, Josh Allen. Maybe Kizak 79. Maybe he's watching the show. I don't know. But that's honestly in this tournament, that's a good click. It's a good click at 28th overall, in my opinion. That's a good click. Makes tons of sense in this structure. That might push some guys down to me, which is nice. I would have taken Derrick Henry for sure. Don't think Kyron doesn't make sense in this. Number 1, I already have Gibbs. Number 2, obviously his ADP reflects the, mistrust that people may have in him right now. And there he goes. Sam Laporta makes a lot of sense here, but I'll be taking Tank Dell for now. And then it's either going to be Sam Laporta or Zay Flowers. If this guy takes both of them, I'll just close my eyes and click Michael Pittman, I guess. Zay Flowers. There we go. So Sam Laporta makes sense here. I really think elite tight end is borderline necessary. Putt Daddy, what's happening, man? Good to see you as always with a healthy Rodgers. Do you see the New York Jets as a good offense? I keep wanting more of Garrett Wilson. Yeah, everybody wants more of Garrett Wilson. That's for damn sure, right? We got to see more out of Garrett Wilson. I do think with a healthy Rodgers, it's obviously it's a much better offense. I'm not going to say it's a good, great, an in between sort of an offense. I really think they really needed to add a wide receiver. I was hoping and I thought, and in my mock draft, I had them trading up to get Rome Odunze, but they didn't. Or they could have traded back. I mean, now that offensive line should be a lot better. Hopefully, I mean, here's the thing with Rodgers. I think he's going to be fine. Like a torn Achilles is not some sort of like injury-prone injury. It's not something that is going to hinder a quarterback, especially a statue quarterback. I guess Rodgers isn't necessarily a statue, but he might be now. But either way, I think he can still thrive after a torn Achilles. That's for sure. He's not been injury prone throughout his career. He really has not. He's what, a four-time MVP, two to four times at least, right? He's a multiple-time MVP. He's a first ballot Hall of Fame quarterback. No questions asked. I don't care if you love him or hate him. It is what it is. He is a first ballot, no question, Hall of Fame quarterback. That's a fact. It is what it is. But yeah, we need to see more out of Garrett Wilson. I'm not taking a lot of Aaron Rodgers, in that same regard. I'm not drafting Aaron Rodgers a lot with Garrett Wilson. I think it just makes an exceptional more amount of sense, especially with where ADPs are at, to take Josh Allen in this instance, right? I guess if you get sniped on and you miss out on him, you could go that route. But I really think that, Garrett Wilson or Breece Hall is the bring back in that game. And then you go with the Buffalo side of it, right? Or you just mini stack, if let's say you get sniped on Josh Allen, then you just mini stack Garrett Wilson with James Cook or one of the wide receivers or Dalton Kincaid or something like that, right? Like that's kind of the way I look at it in that game specifically. But I do think that they're a much, and that's obviously not breaking any ground over here, but I think they're a much better offense with Aaron Rodgers under center than anyone else that they could put in there, right? Dalton Kincaid's falling. Is that the A-Rod drafter or Josh Allen drafter? It's not. Chris Godwin, cool. I'm going to go James Cook here, just for some correlation. And there you go. That's a prime example of what I'm doing. James Cook in a mini stack with Garrett Wilson. Also brings it back with the Detroit side. I'm almost certainly taking Jared Goff here, right? So, and then I could go Rome Odunze here too, because again, I'm clearly leaning on the Detroit side of things. So I want to get bringbacks throughout the playoffs. Plus, I need a wide receiver. I don't love clicking Rome Odunze here, like I just said in the last episode, over guys like Nuke Hopkins, Rashee Rice, blah, blah, blah. But in this build, it does make sense. So sometimes do as I do, not as I say. Because sometimes it just makes sense to click his name, right? Kittle also could have made sense there, but I don't think you need to go double elite tight end in this tournament, in this structure. I don't think that makes sense to go that route. But I'm going to probably be looking at Ricky Pearsall later in this draft. I like this build a lot more than the last draft there. And I was third overall. Here I'm, what was I, 11th? Yeah, 11th. So So that's a prime example of what I was kind of just getting at there with the Jets Buffalo. Like, I'd rather have Garrett Wilson. I'd always rather have Garrett Wilson or Breece Hall be the bring back from the Buffalo side. And if I can't do that, or if I get sniped, or if Josh Allen goes earlier, which sometimes happened and did in this draft, obviously, then I don't mind just mini stacking that game. And just, leaving it there. Honestly, I don't love James Cook in that game against the Jets. That Jets defense is super stout, but you're leaning into the fact that you're hoping it's a bit of a shootout, and Garrett Wilson has 2 touchdowns or something like that, and James Cook catches a lot of balls, right? Because he is a solid, very solid pass catching option in that offense, especially now with Joe Brady there full time, and the lack thereof of skill. I would say most people would agree at the wide receiver position. So yeah, I'd probably rather have Garrett Wilson mini stacked with Dalton Kincaid for sure. But I took Laporta. It is what it is. It's not going to work out every time like that, right? So what are you going to do? But where am I going from here? Might just be a Jameson Williams click where I just fully buy into this Detroit offense with the bringbacks that I already have. And then I might bring in a Buffalo bringback, another bringback as a wide receiver, right? And then Ricky Pearsall is going to be high on my kind of wish list if I do go with Jameson Williams, which is very, very likely because I already have 2 running backs and I already have a tight end, right? So, yeah. Unless Brian Thomas Jr. falls to me for no good reason, that's wishful thinking. That's for sure. I guess Keon Coleman could be on the table, but I would go Jameson Williams over him. If JMO goes, Ramondre Stevenson is probably the direction I'll go. Najee's a good click here too, actually. But with what I have, I think it makes the most sense to lean into this Detroit offense. And I'm still going to get a running back after this Jameson Williams. So Ramondre and Najee are still fully on the table. There goes Ramondre. Could go Najee too. I'm not clicking Aaron Jones pretty much at all. Like literally at all, actually, is how I should word that. Literally not clicking Aaron Jones at all. So I'm going to take Najee. And why am I not taking Aaron Jones? Because Ty Chandler is my most owned, most exposed, most drafted player, period. But definitely running back, obviously. So that's kind of how I like to run my exposures a lot of times. Very similar to the Jacksonville offense. I have not clicked Travis Etienne once either. If I'm wrong on that, I'm wrong on that. My concern with Travis Etienne is he does have an injury history, a major injury history with an Achilles, and he had a shit ton of carries and touches in college. And already so far in his NFL career, they're talking about taking his load off right now. A lot of talk around that with Tank Bigsby getting more run, things like that. It's not a good, it's very common for running backs to have a shorter career if they have 800 plus carries or touches in college. Travis Etienne had way more than that. Even Jonathan Taylor. Look at Jonathan Taylor. He has not been healthy for basically his entire career. He had 2 healthy seasons, I think, right, as a rookie and his second year. So Travis Etienne has now had 2 healthy seasons as far as I can recall off the top of my head. Let's check that out. 2 healthy seasons so far, right? Rookie season, he tore his Achilles and he was out the entire season. And he's had, 2, 4, call it 6 and change touches already. Or 5, almost 600 touches in his NFL career. That concerns me personally. I could be completely wrong on that. Maybe I'll eat my words, but I am concerned about the health of Travis Etienne. You can't predict injury, but if I do, then do I get credit for that? I don't know. I don't know. But I don't think Brock Purdy would be a smart click here. I might have to go with it. Either a naked quarterback, which is not the end of the world, or I could go with a naked quarterback when I'm leaning into the Detroit offense and the Detroit matchups. I could go Josh Palmer and then bring it back with obviously no, I can't with Justin Herbert. So I'm gonna go with Brian Robinson Jr. if I can get him. Jeez, that was close. And then I can certainly stop at 5 running backs, which is almost 100% what I'm going to do. Could go Khalil Shakir here. That does make sense. And I feel like I kind of have to with where my wide receivers are at. I'd really like to stop at 2 quarterbacks as well. So maybe I should have clicked Jared Goff there. He is obviously completely necessary for this build, but it's pretty unlikely that anyone's just going to take a naked Jared Goff. It's certainly possible, but Joe Burrow, he's at the Higgins, so at least he knows what he's doing a little bit. Kyler, you can take Kyler naked. This might be the guy that kills me. But you can, if you're going to take a quarterback naked, it's a guy like Kyler. It's a guy like Anthony Richardson. You could even say Jalen Hurts, Lamar, right? So I guess I could say I'm safe there. Naked CJ Stroud. Interesting. I don't even think that's falling, CJ. Where is he? Yeah, that was right at ADP. So that doesn't make a lot of sense. So that guy, I guess I could be concerned about, red badge, but like I always say, they could be drafted in completely different sports to get the badge. So, but you still would like to think that they, are responsible. And there goes naked Jared Goff. Yeah. Yeah, that was probably, I probably should have just reached. That's frustrating. That's super frustrating. That's what happens in these badgeless rooms. So, yeah, I guess I reached there. I should reach. Round and a half is a little much for me. Now I think I have to go with Aaron Rodgers. Now I have to go with Aaron Rodgers, actually. I do have to. That's the only thing that makes sense, is to go with the double bring back Aaron Rodgers, Garrett Wilson with James Cook and Khalil Shakir. It's pretty much the only thing that makes sense. And I don't think bringing in Ricky Pearsall makes any more sense without Goff. We'll see if it works out, but I gotta fill my wide receiver room. I could just be done at running back, and I kind of think I got to go that route. Jets, so Rams, Jacksonville. So I'm gonna go. I really don't particularly want Gabe Davis with bye week 12, but I am gonna take him to correlate with my Jets, and I'm taking 9 wide receivers. So it's okay. I can do that. I'll still take Jerome Ford if he's there. Okay, now I'm done at running back. That's a good feeling. Test that Jets theory. Yeah, I really didn't want to, but again, like these types of situations, it is what it is. I have to. I really have to with this. Getting sniped on Goff. Guy just takes naked Jared Goff, which again, I guess you can do that in this structure, but realistically, I think it's just badgeless guys clicking buttons. Like, yeah, I mean, I guess you got Lamar and Mark Andrews. Okay, sure. And then do you have a Houston bring back? No, you're just leaning into that. Okay. Obviously probably wanted Jalen Hurts. This guy, yeah. I mean, like sometimes watching some of these rooms, and it's like I don't like to shit on guys without badges because that's not like badges don't mean shit. We all know that. Like they really don't. But you expect certain, correlating and things like that from people with badges. And the badgeless guys just, they almost play into it. So there's, stereotypes are there for a reason, right? It's like this makes no sense, especially in this structure, in this tournament, right? To take elite quarterback like that or bully quarterback or whatever you want to call it, right? So, this guy probably should have gotten Jalen Hurts instead of Lamar. Then maybe he doesn't take Mark Andrews. Who knows? But and then did he get sniped on Jordan Love as well? Kind of, by another badgeless, I guess, Dontavion Wicks. He can bring it back with Musgrave right here if he's still there at 149. So I don't know. You just see some crazy shit. And sometimes people are just out there clicking buttons and it drives me nuts. Obviously, I'm sure most people get pretty frustrated when their stacks get blown up when it doesn't make sense. If it makes sense, then you can't blame a guy, right? Like if it's Jacksonville saying you have BTJ and Evan Ingram, and someone has Christian Kirk and Travis Etienne, and they snipe you or they take Trevor Lawrence, right? That makes sense. What are you going to do? You got to reach, you got to pull them up, and you got to pay attention to where those drafters are, right? So, but shit like this, just kind of like, God damn, it's frustrating, but we'll bring it back. I'm not too worried. We'll figure it out. I'm done at running back, wide receiver, tight end I need. So yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Yeah, definitely not. I'm probably going to have to go with 3 quarterbacks. No, I definitely am 100% going to have to go with 3 quarterbacks, which is okay. Oh, man. One of these guys is going to take a naked A-Rod. This guy. He's going to take Aaron Rodgers right here. Guaranteed. It's a guaranteed Aaron Rodgers click right here. I told you. Let's go tomorrow, Douglas, and then we can always lean on the old New England. So I went from liking this team, liking this draft, to absolutely fucking hating it completely. Oh, no, I should have went Baker, Kate Otten there, but that's okay. I could still go Baker and just hope Kate Otten's there for some reason. What a terrible stream so far. These two teams are terrible. The first one was okay. This one is in a bad spot with all the nonsense sniping. Naked Aaron Rodgers. Naked Geno? Got to be naked Geno. Oh, yeah, Zach Charbonnet, I guess. Can always bring in Noah Fant, but I don't think he knows that. I don't think he knows what he's doing. And Noah Fant will go. Never mind. Oh, man. What are you going to do? If I don't get Kate Otten, Jalen McMillan, Trey Palmer are still there. Correlations out the window. I just now have to try to advance. That's my goal. Just try to advance. Definitely going to be 3 quarterbacks. Definitely done at running back. Hopefully, I should still be able to get away regardless with 2 tight ends. So we're looking at a 3, 5, 8, 2, 3, 5, 8, 2, 3, 3, 5, 8, 2, 3, 5, 9, 2, something like that. There goes Kate Otten. That makes sense. It's fine. He's, ADP is there. Oh, never mind. 10 picks ahead of ADP. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's a good time. Okay. Tight end, I'm not worried about. I'll bring in Fant if he's there. Yeah, I'll bring in Fant if he's there for sure. And then Mike Gesicki is another guy that I like to take into tight end builds when I have an elite tight end, like Sam Laporta. That is where it makes sense. I could Tavian Sanders, I guess. Jonnu would probably be fine in this build with Sam Laporta. But Fant would be my preferred. There he goes. Not to the Geno Smith drafter, of course. So this is just fucking click buttons randomly draft. That's good. That's fun. Just randomly clicking buttons out here. If Wandale's there, that'd be great. I could bring in a giant stack with 0 correlation, so that's fun. Yeah. Do I just take Will Levis? Derek Carr is a good click here. Actually, not here. Maybe not here, but at some point. Will Levis, uncorrelated, doesn't really matter. Jalen McMillan will be on this team. Let's go Will Levis because I'm going to need 3 quarterbacks, no questions asked. And I'm going to take Jalen McMillan unless this red badge takes him. For God knows why. There we go. So uncorrelated Will Levis, but I'm going to have the Gabe Davis with Will Levis. I guess that's nice. Hopefully we can get one draft that we like out of tonight. 2 more picks. Definitely going to be a quarterback and a tight end. So 3, 5, 8, 2. Hopefully Mike Gesicki's there. And hopefully Derek Carr is there. That is what I would like with my last 2 picks. That would at least give me some hope that I can advance this team. I have a strong running back room, reasonable wide receiver room, I suppose. Sam Laporta, 3 quarterbacks. Hopefully they can just play off each other. Obviously this team is straight garbage, but it is what it is when you're in some crazy rooms and you get sniped for no good reason. Then that'll happen. This is the type of thing where, like, if this team made the finals, which is almost impossible, if this team made the finals, you're just hoping that you have the highest scoring player of the week on your roster. That's all I could hope for, sort of a thing. So realistically, I would need it. If this team advanced somehow, again, another miracle if that happened, then I would need the high scoring player in both weeks, 15 and 16 as well, probably. Geez, so thin at quarterback. Holy moly. Like, what am I even going to do here? Russell Wilson and just hope he plays all year? Goodness me. I don't even want to look at this team after we're done. We're just going to jump right into another one. Just keep it rolling, keep it moving, jump into another one. Forget it even happened. Don't talk about it. Do I take? There goes Gesicki, of course. Yeah, good times. I mean, it's whatever because I have Sam Laporta, so I can just lean on that, right? Maybe take Jatavian or Jalen Woods here. Jelani Woods. Just because, hopefully he has some spike week potential if he builds off that rookie year. I mean, it doesn't really matter, honestly, who I take. I can't correlate anything. Yeah, it just doesn't matter. Let's take Jelani Woods and then I guess Russell Wilson. Should hopefully get some usable weeks out of him. Bye weeks don't match. If I can get Russell Wilson to start until week 5, and then Will Levis is back and I have Baker and Will Levis for sure, then sure, and maybe he starts the whole season. Let's get out of this one. That was just depressing. Jumping back into another pit bull, 15-second clock. Jump in if you're in the chat. If you want to draft, waiting on 6. This is number 3 of 6, so I have 3 more after this one. We're an hour in. This is gonna be a bit of a marathon, but that's okay. This is a fantasy football garage Candyman kind of a stream. We're going all night. We're gonna be going late. Should be like a 2-hour stream for sure, but got to make up for it because I'm moving. I went to the new house today, did some yard work, took some stuff over. Slow move. I got about a month to do it, so that's nice. But I'll have to reset up the graphics behind us, the stuff. I'll have to reset it all up in the new house, so there'll be a little bit of a lull. Probably in like 2 weeks. Next weekend, I'm going to music festival too, so that'll be fun. So we'll do a draft. We'll do a stream during the week at some point. So probably Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, one of those days we'll do a stream. Then I'll be off for the weekend. And then we'll do another stream at least one day. Next week, 2 weeks from now, sort of a thing. And then the move is on the 20th. And then we'll have a new setup a little bit. It's 1:15 here. Says Putt Daddy. Yard work is not my vocabulary. We deal in Celsius up here in Canada, but even I know that's fucking hot. That is what, like, I don't know, 40 degrees Celsius or something? Where do you live? Phoenix? Jeez. Scottsdale? It's got to be hot, man. Desert kind of heat. It's like 30 degrees here, which I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but probably like 90, something like that. 92, somewhere around there. So it was pretty hot today. I was sweating my ass off, but I had to get the grass cut on the new place. We're not even living there right now, so you got to have it looking at least, reasonable. I knew it had to be Phoenix. It had to be Arizona. That's desert heat, man. You don't even go out in the summers, hey? That's nuts. I went to Scottsdale for a golf trip a couple years ago with the boys. We're in the 9-hole, and it's crazy how cheap golf is after like basically 11 a.m. Like it's just too hot. No one wants to play, so it's like $30 tee times. We were blown away, but yeah, you sweat your ass off. It was it's hot, but throw some screen on. We're on vacation. We're not used to it, so throw some SPF 30 on or something. The heat lubes up the body, lubes up the back. If you're in the chat and in the draft, let me know. I don't think I see anybody I know here. A lot of badgeless again, so I'm gonna have to be on my P's and Q's. Can't be pushing anybody too far. You got to get your guys when you can, sort of a thing. The 9 hole, probably AJ Brown. I don't think I have him yet. Mind you, this isn't going to matter with, I don't have these my exposures sent to Spike Week, which maybe I'll do after this draft, see if it loads up. Maybe I'll give it a second between drafts to see if it loads up, and then I can get my exposures. But for the most part, I think I can remember realistically. Obviously, if it's 0%, then if I haven't drafted them tonight, then I probably haven't drafted them at all, right? It'd be really cool to get like a Breece Hall Bijan situation, but pretty unlikely. Bijan would be great. That would be fantastic in the 8 hole, but highly, highly unlikely. And there he goes. So make it easy on ourselves. Same old, same old. Let's get some AJ Brown. I don't want to take Puka there because chances of getting Marvin Harrison Jr. are exceptionally unlikely. And give me AJ Brown over Puka every single time. When Puka was going higher than AJ Brown, I was saying for months, there's not a chance in the world that stays that way. AJ Brown has to be ahead of Puka, and now here he is. So, and there you go. Marvin Harrison goes 11th overall. Like, you just can't convince me that Marvin Harrison is a first-round pick. You just can't as a rookie. You cannot convince me that, period. You cannot. Don't try. Don't even try. Don't even try it. I might get a little cute with Devontae Smith here, unless Drake London's there. I have taken some Drake London. I got to take Drake London then. That's fine. Might have gotten cute there with some Devontae Smith, but then I'd have to reach and pull up Jalen Hurts as well, which is whatever, because then it would have been 33. That's not too much of a reach. And then I could lean in on that Eagles offense. That's really the only way you can do it, I think, if you want to lean in on that Philadelphia Eagles offense. I think the only way you can do it is if you do that. You take AJ Brown at 9, and then, or you could, I guess, 8, and then it's still a reach regardless. You're still pulling up Devontae Smith, kind of regardless. There's no way around it. I think there was a time when he would drop to the 30s, 31, 32, 33. But those days are definitely gone now, obviously. I've taken Devontae Smith at 31 for sure. I know that 100%. But I don't think I've gotten him at like 33, and maybe when Best Ball, when it first opened, maybe. But I don't know. So I think if you want to lean in on it, the only way to do it is AJ Brown at 9 or 8, and then you pull up Devontae Smith to 16, 17. Then you take Hurts at 32, 33. That's kind of the only way to do it if you want to lean in on that offense, which is not a bad plan. But then you kind of have to bring it back with at least Jake Ferguson. Maybe Cooks as well. That's a game that I like to double bring back sometimes. Stephon Diggs a little early, I feel like, but that's fine. I'm not clicking him in a crazy amount. I'm still drafting Stephon Diggs. Don't get me wrong. I want to get my exposure to be, it'll probably be a little behind the field, but I'm okay with that. It'll probably be about 4 or 5%, which I'm okay with. I don't think I need to be, at field with Stephon Diggs. I'll be taking Derrick Henry, no question here. Yeah, that's an easy click here. I still think that Derrick Henry is going to move up to the late 20s. I think once bunch more casual drafters come in, he's going to move into the front end of the third round, I'll say, 25 to 29 sort of thing. His ADP, I think, will get into the 20s. I'll say that. So if I'm getting a bit of a discount in a time lock tournament like this, then yeah, absolutely. Give me that. where is the Garrett Wilson drafter? Right here. So if he does not take Josh Allen, I have a shot, and I'd really like to get him. There he goes. That makes sense. That's fine. That's fine. George Pickens correlates a lot. Do I take Jalen Hurts? Yes, I do. Just took him with Devontae. I'm going to take him with A.J. Brown here. I really need to get more exposure to Jalen Hurts. I really, really do. I really do. I said it a lot last year. It didn't particularly work out for me, but that could be a lot of head coaching issues with that team, with the Chargers. But Kellen Moore doesn't give a shit about winning football games. Basically, a quote more or less directly from Kellen Moore. I don't know if it's that many words, but Kellen Moore doesn't care about winning football games. All he cares about is scoring points. So, yeah, I need to get more Jalen Hurts, especially in Best Ball Mania. I have made an effort to get him more in like the Puppy 2. I have a lot of them in, this tournament. Obviously, I'll have at least like 33% roughly of Jalen Hurts. I've already taken him twice tonight. So at least, what is that? 25% at least, right? So yeah, but I need more exposure in Best Ball Mania. Again, I think in Best Ball Mania, I got to do that at least once. I need at least one build with Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown with Jalen Hurts, and then probably Jake Ferguson and Brandon Cooks, something like that, or Rico Dowdle, whatever. So, some other piece in that Dallas offense. I think I got to get one of those. I would like to get one of those, at least, maybe two of my 150, right? It's just been that offense. Like A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith have been that offense with Jalen Hurts for 2 straight seasons. It's pretty hard to imagine a scenario where that's not the same this season, right? So, especially with Kellen Moore coming in. Yeah. Dallas Goedert is still there on the table as well, who I'm not clicking a lot at all, but I will in instances like this. I could go with Kyle Pitts here, and I will. I don't have him yet at all, I don't think. So I'll take Kyle Pitts, and then I can bring it back, obviously, with Kirk Cousins and Jahan Dotson, probably. Most likely, we'll see. Don't really need to lean in on running back at all. I like the Derrick Henry start. Xavier Worthy's on the table. Big play potential there. Haven't clicked his name yet. Joe Mixon, I don't want to be bringing back with Derrick Henry, that's for sure. Nuke Hopkins is always on the table at this ADP for me personally. Rashee Rice would have been there for sure if I had taken George Pickens. Then absolutely I'd be clicking Rashee Rice or Xavier Worthy. I would have liked Worthy there, but I'm going to take Rashee Rice. I don't know if he'll be suspended. It says likely suspended, right? Why are you saying that? Let's see what they're saying. It's likely facing multi-game suspension resulting in the crash, blah, blah, blah. We already know all that. Horrible situation. I'm not trying to make light of the situation. Don't attack me. Don't cancel me. While he fears to be suspended at some point, allows legal process. So we need some clarity here, but I really think that he doesn't get suspended this season. It's pretty much right there with the Alvin Kamara situation last year or 2 years ago, right? And he's kept his nose clean since that, he smacked that reporter, which was, don't put yourself in those situations, man. You made a worst decision of your entire life and got into a huge accident, right? Then you put yourself in a bad situation. You should have never have been there. And then you do something stupid like smack a guy trying to take your picture, which of course they're going to do that, right? Like, of course, paparazzi, the media is gonna try to get a rise out of you. So Yeah, just make good decisions. And he has so far since all that. And we'll see. But I think it's very possible he doesn't get suspended this year. And then, his ADP should be back where it kind of was. Maybe not quite like in the big board, because in the big board, I think he was in the 30s, something like that. Third round guy. Third round, early fourth, late third, early fourth, something like that. But with Xavier Worthy coming in and all the positivity we've heard with Hollywood Brown, maybe it wouldn't quite go that high, but he should certainly be in the 50s. He should be, a full round, I would say. You know what I mean? Like 52, right? Yeah, the 5th round guy instead of a 6th round guy for sure. If we know he's not getting suspended, he absolutely climbs to that. So, yeah, we'll see. I think I just have to. It's too hard not to just take Jake Ferguson here. There's no one I have to click. There's really no one that I have to have at all. And I don't have to have Jake Ferguson, but it really makes sense for what I'm doing. So I'm just going to go ahead and get him. I don't mind Najee here either, but Jaylen Warren makes more sense as the bring back. And he's, this team is clearly Philly, obviously, and then Baltimore, KC. Anytime a Pittsburgh player is the bring back and I'm going with the running back, it's going to be Jaylen Warren. It's not going to be Najee. That's just where we're at. Yeah, I'll take David Montgomery though. If he's there at 88, I will take him. Better believe it. If not, Jaylen Warren. Yeah, if David Montgomery falls there, thank you. I'll take a full round of ADP value, 13 picks. There he goes. That's fine. Could take Jameson Williams here, but I'm going to go Jaylen Warren. I could take Jameson Williams just because of the, again, I don't think he gets suspended, but maybe he does, right? Maybe he does get suspended. So, I can't just, at this point in time, I can't just say I don't think he's going to get suspended. Therefore, he won't. Therefore, I draft him, right? It's just, you can't do that. So, it's going to be a long stream. I don't think I quite, realized how long it was going to be. I'm going to have to get another beverage here quick. So I'm going to leave you guys for a second after this draft. After this draft, I'm going to jump up and grab myself another little drinky poo for the second half of this. But we are finishing it up today. We're going to max enter this sucker tonight. I am falling a little bit behind at wide receiver that I don't love that. But so far, this build is the best one so far as structure is concerned. And getting my guys and keeping it together. Could go Jaden Daniels here if he's available. If he's still there at 105, I'm getting a little bit of value. I might take Jaden Daniels and then get Dotson. And then I'm okay with that, with the rushing upside of, there he goes. We're good. But I could have leaned into that and I would have been okay. I would have been okay with that. Then I would have really liked to get Eckler if that were the case, but that's fine. Super falling Eckler. At one point, Eckler was up here, right with Brian Robinson Jr. I'm taking Brian Robinson every time over Eckler, that's for sure. But some people are not. Rashid Shaheed is absolutely on the table. No tight ends for me, thanks. Kirk Cousins is still my guy to pair with Jalen Hurts. Yeah, if it's not Rashid Shaheed, then I guess Josh Palmer, but I'd rather, I'm good with that. Rashid Shaheed, bring him in. I got to get back to where I want to be at wide receiver. Where is Kirk Cousins? 147. Okay, we're good. And then I need to pay attention to Jahan Dotson. So I have time. So that's Dotson and Kirk right there and there. So I have one more pick. Probably going to have to be a I don't have to do a double bring back with the Dallas side. That's for damn sure. So I definitely don't need Brandon Cooks. Could go Adonai Mitchell, I suppose. Double. Okay, good. I'm glad he's gone. Tajay, I like Adonai Mitchell. Okay, that's fine. Then it's definitely Tajay Spears. There we go. Yeah, I like this build a heck of a lot more than any of the other ones, the other two so far tonight. I think the door is open to stop at 5 running backs here. We'll see. It's not set in stone, that's for sure, but the door is open. I'm a little light at wide receiver, so I'm definitely going. I got Jahan Dotson, then Kirk Cousins. Then I just got a hammer wide receiver. So I might stop at 5 running backs, depending on who my last 2 are, just so I can build out that wide receiver room. It's a little fragile for my liking, especially if, I have Rashee Rice in it with that uncertainty. I think I kind of have to go with 9. If I don't get Jahan Dotson, I can always bring it back with McCaffrey, Luke McCaffrey, but I really want Jahan Dotson and I really want Kirk Cousins. That just makes tons of sense. I got that week 17 matchup. I got a Philly week 17 matchup, and those are offenses and teams and matchups that I believe in and that I'm taking regardless. So if I can, build it out on the same squad, then I'm going to do it. I have a lot of it and I'm going to keep doing that. Right. So, yeah, I like this team better than any of the other ones. Should be able to get Dotson, unless where is the Jaden Daniels drafters here. So, yeah, I should be okay in theory, but we've learned tonight that doesn't mean anything and expect the unexpected. So, definitely don't count your chickens at any point. This guy seems like he knows what he's doing right here. So in theory, I should be okay. Yeah, not a chance I'm pushing anybody. So I will pull up Jahan Dotson, 7 picks, not a big deal, half a round. And then 11 picks for Kirk Cousins. That's okay. I'm still going to do it with the Bijan drafter here. He has 2 quarterbacks, but again, with everything that we've seen so far tonight and the 2 drafts that we've done, you just can't trust anybody. You really can't. You really cannot. And I'm if that's the case, then I'm trying to push them 6 picks past ADP. Yeah, there's just too much naked drafting going on here. And to be honest, he's the next, quarterback up. So it is what it is. I'm sick of not getting my guys. I'm going to take Kirk Cousins here. It's only 11 picks. It's 1 round. I always like to stay within the 1 round. If I'm within 12 picks, I'm okay. I can justify it. So we're done at quarterback. We are done at tight end. Always like to be building 2 quarterback, 2 tight end builds. That is going to be, and it already is, the overwhelming majority of my structures. And it's going to stay that way. It is absolutely going to stay that way. So I just think you need the rest. You have to get 2 of each that you're comfortable enough with. It's like the amount of 1 elite quarterback, 1 elite tight end that I have with a secondary piece. Again, like with Sam Laporta, I'm fine with bringing Mike Gesicki in as my second tight end, and you don't need to draft Mike Gesicki till the 17th round, right? So there's lots of room there to maneuver. It's a little less, with a little different at quarterback, obviously, but you don't have to take your first quarterback till the 4th round, right? It's not like last year. Last year you had to take 2nd, 3rd round quarterback if you wanted an elite one, which I was not doing a lot of. I was doing a lot of 3 quarterback builds, a lot of later quarterback type of stuff, because I didn't think it made sense to go with a 2nd round quarterback. So I'm glad that they've kind of evened out and come back down to earth as far as quarterback ADPs are concerned. But now I think it's a value for Josh Allen in the 4th round. Again, especially depending on structure in this or tournament, this structure, it absolutely makes just nothing but sense to take Josh Allen even in the 3rd round, in my opinion. I'd love me some Ty Chandler. You know how much I like Ty Chandler. Makes too much sense as far as bye week is concerned. If I get Ty Chandler, then I would be almost certainly stopping. But I'm definitely going running back here with these 4 options. I like all the options. But Ty Chandler is absolutely the guy. And now that makes it even more certain that I'm stopping at 5 running backs. Pop Douglas, I've been focusing on a little more. Wandale, I like, and I will bring him up if he's there. That's an interesting one. Wandale or Pop Douglas? That's an interesting. Let me know in the chat who you think is a better click. Just period. Because they're close enough ADP-wise. Pop Douglas or Wandale Robinson? Pop Douglas still has not scored his first NFL touchdown. More points for Wandale last year. In theory, he has a better, setup. I'm definitely going Wandale just for the correlation as well, but I think he's a better click. I need more. I need Pop Douglas is a guy that I need to force myself to click more for a lot of different reasons, but I feel the same way about Wandale. And just pure, who's the better click? Wandale Robinson, man. I think. That's my thoughts on it. Could go double bring back with Luke McCaffrey if he's still there, with the Philly and Atlanta leaning into both of my quarterback stacks. If he's still there and when it comes back around, which in theory he probably will be, I'm going to take him with 9 wide receivers. I think, with 9 wide receivers, I think that makes sense in this build. Makes tons of sense. I like that. We'll see if he's there. But if he is there, I'm going to take Luke McCaffrey. And then I'm at a double stack, double bring back, Atlanta, Washington, week 17. Yes, sir. And single stack, double bring back against Philly, week 16. With Rashid Shaheed, week 15. Pretty juicy. I like that. Braylon Allen as well these would be my 2 clicks. Yeah, let's do it. If Braylon Allen's still there. Chuba Hubbard, these running backs are falling, so definitely going to go Luke McCaffrey. Malachi Corley is a good click here too, but as far as everything I just said, it has to be Luke McCaffrey, I think. And then I should have options at running back maybe. My options would be Bucky Irving, Chuba would have been, Ray Davis, if they're still there on my next. Realistically, I should maybe just take Ray Davis here. Wow, how are you taking J.K. Dobbins there? Yeah. Don't think I need to try to push Luke McCaffrey. I can push running back, though. 5 running backs, 6 running backs. The only guy is here with 4. I mean, badgeless, you never know, but I have 3 running backs that I'm comfortable taking as my 5th, and then I'm done. So, yeah. First team I like. That's good. We finally got one we like tonight. I will take Ray Davis over Braylon Allen. 21 picks past ADP. And I haven't clicked him yet in this tournament, so get some difference there. Now, a couple wide receivers, and we're laughing. This is good. This is good. This is the first one that I like. That's nice. That is comforting. Yeah, definitely need 2 wide receivers. That's no question. I think with, if I'm leaning on the hero RB build with Derrick Henry, and then, Jalen Warren is always live to enter your lineup. Tajay Spears theoretically should be 2. Hopefully Ty Chandler, and then maybe Ray Davis if there's an injury, or, just the one-off here and there type of thing. But my flex is almost always going to be a wide receiver, most likely. Pretty strong at tight end, pretty strong at quarterback, I think. So super correlated. I would like to just basically, correlate with my last 2 a little bit, but I don't know if it's going to make sense. Trey Tucker, I guess, could be on the table, but New Orleans, Atlanta. Yeah, Atlanta. Trey Tucker's on the table as my last click. I like Malik Washington potentially. Maybe Greg Dortch. Well, Jalen McMillan, if he's there, is top of the list. Javon Baker. I like Javon Baker quite a bit, to be honest with you. I think I'll do my Javon Baker take in a second here. There goes McMillan. I think I got to go Javon Baker. Like, I'm not taking any of these guys I'm not taking a second player off of any of these teams. It doesn't make sense. It just does not make sense. Yeah, Javon Baker. Taking him. And then is already selected by me. And then Trey Tucker for the correlation with the Atlanta side and New Orleans in week 17. That just makes a little too much sense. I like Trey Tucker actually quite a bit, but my Baker take is this. My Javon Baker take is this. There's so much uncertainty in New England right now. Everybody knows that. I'm going to talk about that in the stream I do, week 2, whatever I do about camp battle stuff. I'll be talking about that team, obviously. But I really don't care who ends up starting the season as the New England Patriots starting wide receivers. I really don't give a shit who they are. If it's Kendrick Bourne, if it's KJ Osborne, if it's Polk, Baker, Pop Douglas, whatever. I really don't care. Honestly, I all I care about with that offense is who's it going to be at the end of the season. And I think Javon Baker could definitely be that guy. I mean, it's a pretty low risk click in the 17th round to take a guy that, and this is maybe a flaw for me, but I like guys that talk shit. I go look behind me, Cincinnati Bengals, right? Number 1 shit talker in the NFL, Chad Ochocinco, whatever you want to call him, multiple names, the man of many names. He used to tell people exactly what he's going to do, and then he did it. And that's something that I appreciate, if I'm being honest. It's one of the reasons I became a Bengals fan way back in the day, was Chad Johnson talking shit and backing it up. There's something to be said for that. That's why people, gravitate towards that. Look at a guy, a different sport, but look at a guy like Conor McGregor in the UFC. He talked a lot of shit. He said what he was going to do, and then he did it, right? People gravitate towards that. So Javon Baker goes out and says he makes people in wheelchairs stand up. It's a little interesting to say it like that, but hey, I got props. But like Gerard Mayo said, now you got to go out and do it. So we'll see. But I think that Javon Baker's still a very fine click in the 17th friggin' round, where it really doesn't matter and it's completely free, especially in 9 or 10 wide receiver builds, right? So that's my thoughts on not only the Patriots offense and wide receivers, which again, we'll talk about when we do that episode, but that's just my thoughts in general. But before we get into the next draft, I'm going to leave you guys for a second. I'm going to grab myself another little drinky poo here for the second half of this draft or this stream. We still have 3 more drafts, I believe. Let's just double check here. The Pitbull 5, it says, but I think we did 6 so far. We have at least 3 more drafts to do. So stay with me. Give me 2 seconds. I'll be right back. And we're back. All right. This episode is brought to you by the Sounds of Summer. There you go. It's a little ranch water, it's called. It's Wyatt Rose. I think it's out of Ontario. As you may or may not know, Canadian over here. So I like to support the smaller Canadian brands. But let's jump into another Pitbull, 15-second clock. If you want to jump in, you're in the chat, jump in. Waiting on 11, so tons of room. Water's fine. Jump on in. Hit that like button, subscribe. Haven't mentioned that yet. Hit that subscribe, like and subscribe button, help me out. Be doing this the rest of summer, and then I wrap it up. I don't do streams anymore during the NFL season. I just get way too busy with work. I sell tires for a living, and winter in Canada is cold and slippery, and people need winter tires, and it is by far the busiest part of my life. So I learned that last year. I just can't do it. I don't have enough time. I'm just way too busy to stream during the NFL season. So, if anybody wants me to come on, I will go on their show. That's easy, but I won't be doing my streams. I won't be doing the channel during the winter months. We'll be back right after typically I do playoff best ball. I do stream playoff best ball because I do hammer quite a bit of that. So that's when we're back, probably. I don't know. What is that? Just after Christmas, just before the new year. That's when it starts to slow down for me. And then I can get back to doing streams. And then obviously the big board is a big one for me. I love the big board. I had my most success in that tournament last year. I think I had 3 out of 100. I only did 100 last year, and I think I had 3 in the final. So I maxed it this year. Hopefully I have similar or better success, because I didn't really finish that high, to be honest with you. Made the final though, so that's nice. But I didn't win, obviously. But hopefully we have better luck this year. Regardless, with the big board, with Best Ball Mania would be the one to win, obviously. But I'll take anything I can get. 100K up top for this one. That's a very nice. Realistically, this would be a really nice one to get in the final. 156 seats. Like, that's really not crazy. That's really okay. That's what, a fifth a fourth of Best Ball Mania, right? So a 1 in 156 chance at 100 grand, that would be pretty all right. Pretty all right. If you're in the chat, in the stream, and you're in the draft, let me know. I don't think I know any of these names, so that's always a little concerning. A lot of badgeless again. So again, now I learned from the first two drafts. I'm not gonna push anything too far. You got to get your guys, complete your stacks, do what you got to do, correlate when you can, when you need, blah blah blah. I think I'm going to try to send my teams to Spike Week to try to get this won't happen for this draft, but maybe for the next one. So 7. I'm through 7 pit bulls right now. So we're doing 2 more after this. Hopefully this doesn't take too long. If I miss my pick, I actually don't even really care. Hopefully it's Jamar Chase. Hopefully I don't miss my pick, but we'll see. Chances are it's Jamar Chase. The consolation prize would be Tyreek Hill. So if you didn't know or don't know what I'm doing, I'm sending my lineups to Spike Week. Where is it? Right here. Pitbull. I did auto draft and it was Chase. Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted to happen. I wanted Jamar Chase and I got him. That's nice. Sweet. Okay. I think that's my first share of Jamar Chase in the Pitbull too. So that's 100% who I was clicking. And now I think I have Tyreek, I have Chase, I have a bunch of Jefferson. I don't think I've had first or second overall, first or second pick yet in this tournament. So I don't have any CD or McCaffrey. Hopefully that's not who you need to win this tournament because I might not get them. And a lot of people probably, there's only 10 entries, right? So you might not get those guys. But yeah, hit that like, subscribe button for me. Appreciate it. If you're watching on Twitter, maybe fire over to the old YouTube machine. Jump in there, log in, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Help me out. Appreciate it. Appreciate you coming out, watching either way. Got 17 people watching. Appreciate each and every one of you. It's a good time. Thanks to the chat, Putt Daddy, Fantasy Football Garage, a couple regulars. Always appreciate it. Always appreciate you coming out. Where do I go from here? Probably Debo, almost certainly. Love me some Debo. Oh, I got a sneeze coming. Whew. Get a little bit of allergies. So when I was outside doing the lawn earlier today, maybe Barkley. I don't mind taking Saquon here with I need some exposure. But with the frequency that he does fall, I'm going to go Jalen Waddle here. Just because the running backs fall too often, I would rather push that and see if I can get Saquon or Devon Achane at 28. I don't think I'll take Javon. I don't think I will take Devon Achane. Jeez, that's a tongue twister. At 28, regardless, with having Waddle already. Again, I'm not trying to hammer that game too much. I do have enough of the Cleveland, Miami kind of week 17 game stack. Really would have liked Barkley there, but what are you going to do? Do I get myself a share of Stephon Diggs or do I just take Derrick Henry? I'm going to take Derrick Henry. I just don't think Devon H. Like for me in this tournament, in this Pit Bowl tournament with 1 of 6 and 1 of 5, like advanced pieces are that much more valuable. And Derrick Henry, you better believe in his advanced piece, in my opinion. Very high floor running back, right? Chances are pretty exceptionally high. He has 1,000+ yards and double-digit touchdowns, right? Certainly that's on the table for Devon Achane as well. But with Mostert there, with even Jalen Wright, Jeff Wilson's still there. Not like Jeff Wilson will have any sort of a role, but with Mostert still there, getting 20 touchdowns last year, he's certainly not like the goal line back. And Derrick Henry, absolutely no question, 100% is, right? So, again, I was talking about Josh Allen as well, being a high advance rate piece and a very valuable piece, in my opinion, especially in this structure. Like to me, he's a 3rd round pick. But maybe I'm wrong on that. I don't think I am. 52. I don't mind getting some Patrick Mahomes. Looks like I have a fair amount of Mahomes already in this, but that's not the end of the world. Don't have much Terry McLaurin, which is alarming for me because he's one of my favorite clicks. My highest drafted wide receiver this year so far. Trey McBride is not a bad option here. George Pickens. Let's go Terry McLaurin. Scary Terry. Don't have enough of him. Nice. Putt Daddy. In 3 of my slows right now, I have the Lamb, Barkley, Devontae Smith trio. My first shares of Barkley. I love that. I love that a lot. If it were me, I mean, I don't know if you want this unsolicited advice or not, but if it were me, I would really, really want Dak and Jake Ferguson on that. That is, to me, that's just the juiciest kind of game stack. Not necessarily possible, but it's just very, very, very juicy, if you ask me. Really like Isaiah Pacheco here. If not, then Dalton Kincaid is viable, but I don't think I'll go that route either. I'll definitely take Pacheco if he's there. That's an easy click for me. Yeah, that makes too much sense. But man, that's a juicy stack. And I would just, for me, yeah, I would build it out even more. Dak and Jake Ferguson with CeeDee Lamb, double stack, double bring back. Man, that is nice. He might, because if you have Jake Ferguson and CD, it's very, very, very possible. If you're at, like the 90, you're right here, you're, second and it's 95, 90, 98. Maybe you took Ferguson at 74, or if you're lucky enough to get him to fall to you in the 90s, which does happen. And then you should be able to get Dak, to be honest, especially with the walking boot news, which is a whole nothing burger. That is such a massive nothing burger that I could care less about that. It is useless information. Not useless, but it's a nothing burger for me. I don't give a shit that Dak Prescott's in a walking boot for a sprained ankle that he probably got fucking playing beach volleyball or something. I don't care. But it is making him fall in drafts, so I'll take it. But yeah, that's a juicy stack. Like it's right there with like the San Francisco Detroit game, And even for me, Jacksonville, Tennessee is pretty high on that list for me. Pittsburgh, KC, if you can get it right with George Pickens, that's another decent looking juicy stack. Minnesota, Green Bay, if you can do it right. There's a lot of options, but there's certain ones that I'm focusing on. Atlanta, Washington. There's certain games that I'm really focusing on as much as I possibly can in best ball, in all formats of best ball. I will take Stroud if he's there after these picks here, but I'm going to go with Nuke Hopkins, and then that allows me to go like this and feel comfortable about it. That was kind of why that was one of the reasons I didn't take Dalton Kincaid, because I haven't clicked Evan Ingram yet. I don't think. Maybe I have, maybe I haven't, but I can build out this Tennessee Jacksonville game. I was just saying it's a game I like to focus on, and there you go. There's a lot of other bringbacks in there. Gabe Davis, the running backs for Tennessee, Pollard and Spears, right? So there's a lot of options. I don't mind going Stroud here just because of all the correlation I have built out, and I can always bring it back with Dalton Schultz, right? So that's another guy that I don't think you should let push too far, because you can bring it back with Dalton Schultz and just stack that up, especially in this structure. But if BTJ is there, if Brian Thomas Jr. is there, I'm taking him. I will take him over Stroud. Okay. There you go. Okay. So either it's Evan Ingram or it's CJ Stroud. I'm going to take CJ Stroud. Because I can still take in the same, if I'm going down the same thought process here, I could still take Trevor Lawrence and bring it back with Gabe Davis, or even Parker Washington if you really want to. Mind you, in this tournament, I don't want to be taking Parker Washington, but I just don't think you should be in this tournament and this structure. You shouldn't be pushing guys like Burrow, guys like Stroud that far. Full 10 picks past ADP with the amount of correlation I have with Stroud. Yeah, maybe now I might have to pull up Dalton Schultz 6 picks or something like that at 124. He's going to 130, 131, something like that. I'll have to push him up a half round. Not a big deal whatsoever, right? Obviously, I have to prioritize Dalton Schultz. That's fine. I can do that at 124. If someone wants to scoop me, on Schultz, I mean, where would it be? Here, maybe. So maybe I take him at 117. That's a little rich, but we'll see. We'll see what this guy does, because he's the bring back with Mark Andrews, mind you. I don't know if you really want to do that, especially you don't have Lamar. It doesn't, I can say the black badge is going to be okay enough to not do that, but we'll see. Where are we at here? I could go Jaden Daniels, but that's a little early for me. Jaylen Warren makes tons of sense. David Njoku makes a lot of sense, but I would rather push him. I don't like this range for wide receivers one bit, so I'm all right with that. But I'll be taking David Njoku if he's here, just for all the correlation I'm getting. And I like David Njoku. It's a fine pick. I can stop at 2 if I get these 2 tight ends. There he goes. Not a big deal. I could lean into a double Tennessee, but I'm going to go. Oh, no, I can't go Jaden Daniels. And he's gone anyways. That's okay. I'm going to lean into this. I'm going to lean into this potential Tennessee Jacksonville build I got going on here. double Tennessee, that leaves the door open for obviously Will Levis. I'd rather not have CJ Stroud, Will Levis, and that's it. That's a little thin for me. But if, and this is a pretty big if, I mean, he already took two quarterbacks. So we got the Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram, Jacksonville side, but he's already taken Caleb and Anthony Richardson. You know, he would have to take him right here at 114, double tap quarterback. You're getting pretty thin at wide receiver, but badgeless. It's very possible. Could be just butthurt at me for taking CJ Stroud as well from him with his Nico. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see. But I'll go with Trevor Lawrence if he's there at 117, and then I can bring it back. Oh, I can't bring it back with Gabe Davis because I'm taking Schultz. Could be Parker Washington, I suppose. Because then I could definitely stop at. Could maybe even stop at 4 running backs, to be honest with you. Yeah, in this I could stop at 4. I might take a 5th, but either way, that opens the door for 100%. I should be able to take at least 9 wide receivers, maybe 10. So, who was it? Jacksonville. This guy. Okay, so I got a pretty good shot. He's got no quarterback and ETN, so that kills it. Yeah, that's the short clock for you. I guess I got to go wide receiver. I guess I have to go wide receiver here. Yeah, I got to take Gabe Davis is what I got to do. With my double Tennessee, I need a quality bring back in that game. And it has to be wide receiver anyways. So I could go Wicks, I suppose. But it just makes too much sense to take Gabe Davis here. And then that also kills this guy who sniped me for T-Law. So take that. But I have to get a quality bring back in that game. If I have 2, then I can go Will Levis for sure, obviously. And then take a 3rd quarterback, maybe. We'll see. Yeah, we will see. This should be a fairly unique build, regardless. It definitely is for me, but it should be regardless. Could go Darnell Mooney and Kirk Cousins with the Terry McLaurin. And that's bye week 12, so I'm okay with CJ Stroud. That's a viable kind of bring back. Jerome Ford would be nice, but that's just not happening with all that correlation. That'd be nice, but he will be gone before I pick. Nick Chubb is not really in my player pool personally. Jalen Polk is definitely on the table. Could go Justin Herbert and Quentin Johnston as well. Haven't clicked him yet. 12% total. I'm okay with that. Yeah, I'm okay with that. That's right around where I want to be. 10 to 12%. I think he's fine enough to click sometimes, especially if you're correlating him with a quarterback, you know. Wow, no one wants to click Jerome Ford. I will if he's there. I do need another tight end, obviously. Pat Freiermuth. Oh, he's gone. Okay. Could have gone Pat Fry and then both Pittsburgh quarterbacks. Now I think I have to go. Did Kirk Cousins? Oh, God. Starting to thin out at quarterback all of a sudden. It's looking like a potential Baker. I could go Darnell Mooney regardless, and I will to just match him up with Scary Terry. And it makes sense. I need a wide receiver. I got to slow down on bye week 12, but that's okay. And then it's probably going to be a Baker, Kate Otten with my next two picks after this one, where it just makes sense. Deshaun Watson, if Judy was available, yeah. I'm not taking a naked Deshaun Watson, and I'm not taking Elijah Moore. It doesn't make sense with all the correlation, but not if I don't have a pass catcher. Quentin Johnston, I guess, is there and on the table. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Don't love it, but that's okay. That's okay. Don't love it, but I at least get to take, especially if I get Baker and Kate Otten, which is very live, then I'm done at two quarterbacks. I'm done at two tight ends. I'm comfortable enough with Dalton Schultz and Kate Otten. I think those two are carbon copies of each other at tight end. So I think I'm okay with that. I'll stop at two tight ends there. I don't know if other people will or will not. I don't love that I just, panic reached on Dalton Schultz, but it is what it is. It's 15-second clock. I got sniped. I'd rather get that correlation. I have to get them anyways. So in theory, I could have got, this Mark Andrews drafter could have taken him. This team could have taken him. This team could have taken him. You never know. With their second tight end, right? Yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. I'd rather not, but I guaranteed getting the last Houston pass catcher. I don't want to have a completely naked CJ Stroud. I took him naked with the plan of taking Dalton Schultz, which I do sometimes. But you kind of have to guarantee that you get Dalton Schultz. So I did. And then there you go. Yeah. With Gabe Davis, I can lean on this Tennessee double. Tony Pollard, DeAndre Hopkins. And that's okay. I can lean on that mini stack, that little week 17 game stack there. Yeah. Yeah, this is okay. It's okay. I got some correlation out of Quentin Johnston with Baker if I get him here, and I do. So that's nice. If I could get a Dallas Cowboy or a Carolina Panther, that would be nice, but not very likely, which is fine. I'm kind of leaning on this, obviously, Houston, Baltimore week 17 anyways, and Houston, Kansas City week 16 with Pacheco. So I guess I'm saying that the Houston run defense is not very good in weeks 16 and 17. Yeah. Tell yourself a story, right? Tell yourself a story and stick to it. So Kate Otten, there we go. So I'm okay with that. I'm okay with being done at quarterback and tight end. I'm okay with that. It's not completely ideal, but it's good enough. It's certainly good enough, in my opinion. Very similar players at quarterback and very similar players at tight end. So, yeah. So, what am I looking at? Jamar Chase, Waddle, Terry McLaurin, Nuke Hopkins. Yeah, I think I could do only 9. I'm going to bring in one more running back and just, I'm going to bring in one more running back that doesn't overlap buys. So Braylon Allen, definitely on the table. Tyrone Tracy is actually on the table here. I don't like taking Dameon Pierce in these situations with the Houston. Like, he's not the pass catching option, even if there's an injury. If there's an injury to Joe Mixon, Dameon Pierce is not going to be the pass catching third down option, even though he's a very good pass protector. That's rare for rookie running backs. Even as a rookie, he was good, and it showed. If you watch his tape, he straight up fucking annihilated linebackers. Just put them on their ass. Very, very good, in my opinion, pass blocker. Either way. Dylan Lowry? I don't know if I don't get Braylon Allen, do I even want to take? I guess Khalil Herbert is there as well. Khalil Herbert's on the table. Certainly over Rashawn Johnson in this instance. So those are the two running backs I would like. And then it's two more wide receivers to finish it out. There goes Herbert. This is the candidate to take Braylon Allen. He does not. That's nice. That's very nice. You kind of need a wide receiver, so hopefully you do. Or tight end. That's good. Okay, done it. Running back. I like that. I like this running back room quite a bit. I like my wide receiver room. Tight ends and quarterbacks are fine. So 2 more picks, 2 more wide receivers. I'm not going to take players that overlap, so definitely not Tyler Boyd. Doesn't make sense. I could take Devontae Walker actually, but there he goes. So I'd rather not take Javon Baker, but I guess I could take Jalen Tolbert. I have to kind of lean in that, I have 14%. I want to pull that back. There goes Baker. I'm happy about that. I have to lean in on that. He's going to end up being that third wide receiver on this team. Elijah Moore makes a lot of sense. I might do that with taking 9. That's the other thing with these guys, like with taking 9 wide receivers, especially with the start I have, Jamar Chase, Waddle, McLaurin, Hopkins, Davis, Mooney, Johnson. I think that's pretty quality, if I'm being honest. So my last 2, I can kind of take some shots. At least I feel like I can. So maybe I do take Elijah Moore here. Still had 600 yards last year, 2 touchdowns, 100 points. He's going to enter my lineup at some points, Cedric Tillman, Trey Tucker could be on the table. But I think, again, I've taken 9% Elijah Moore. That's okay. I maybe would want to pull that back as well. I'm okay with being at field or even a little less. If it's 6%, that would probably make me more happy. But yeah, just with the correlation, I think it makes too much sense to just take Elijah Moore here with a 9 wide receiver room, especially with the quality I have up top. Yeah, that's what we're doing. So it's Elijah Moore. I don't want to take more Jalen Hyatt in this tournament, 67%. So I have him, 3 times already or whatever. That's where I would like to be. Trey Tucker, I guess, would be the secondary. Correlates a little bit. I like him as a player, but I think we're pretty safe to get Elijah Moore, to be honest. Trey Palmer, but Jalen McMillan, yeah, you could certainly talk me into that. I mean, mind you, Trey Palmer might be the starter on the outside. Quality rookie year. But we're going Elijah Moore. That's actually the Tampa Bay Buccaneer wide receiver room is one I would like to see some clarity on as well. I like this one. This might be my favorite tonight so far, but I like this 2592. Like the structure, got some value, reached on Dalton Schultz, but it is what it is. Don't mind that one. Don't mind that draft at all. So let's get back out. How many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I have 8 incoming. So 2 more. We got 2 more drafts tonight. 2-hour plus stream. Hit that like button if you don't mind. We're doing another draft, 15 seconds. Jumping in. Let's go. Waiting on 6. Hit that like button if you don't mind. 2.5. This is going to be like a 3-hour stream. That's long. And it's fucking hot in here, boys and girls. If there's ladies watching, it's warm in here. I don't have AC. I got a little fan going, and it's like 30 degrees in my house. That's Celsius. So we just talked about this earlier in the stream. I don't know, 90, 92, something like that. It's hot. So help me out with that like button. Poor favor. Waiting on 4. I would like to get first or second. That'd be nice. Get a little influencer 101. Now the question would be, do I take Lamb or do I take CMC? Who do I take if I get first overall? Probably Lamb is probably who I take. Gun to my head, my 101 is CeeDee Lamb. There is some uncertainty there with his contract situation, which they have to figure out. They should have done it a long time ago. They should have re-signed Dak. They should have got a contract done with Dak, freed up some cap space, went all in like they should have done, re-signed CD, kick it down the road. That's what they should have done. Have a shot at winning the Super Bowl, potentially, if they did some stuff in free agency, and had a good draft. So we pull the 8. I'm all right with that. The top 8 is pretty set in stone. Again, as always, as I've said every time, if you're in the chat and you're in the draft, let me know. Green Goblin, I've drafted with him for sure. Brody FF, maybe. Big D Money 103, maybe. Lego my Nego. I don't know about that one. But yeah. Again, another half badgeless, half badged. It should be interesting. We'll see. Get your guys, make your stacks, do what you got to do. We'll see. We got one more draft after this. Long stream. But I think I liked half of the teams I've drafted so far. You never know. Maybe the one that you like the least is the one that wins you $100,000. I don't really care what it looks like. If I win $100,000, it could be the ugliest piece of shit you've ever seen. Do not care. Obviously, I'd like to get Bijan at 8. That's always the hope, is that someone takes Breeze or, pulls up a random whatever, which happens a fair amount. So Bijan's always live to go 8. Oh, and do I have him yet in this? I do not. So there we go. There we go. So I'm definitely getting Justin Jefferson, Amon-Ra, or Bijan. That's lovely. I really like Bijan. Okay, good. Did not want Justin Jefferson there. Nice. I like that start. It's always nice when you get Bijan at 8. It's always nice. Easy click. Super, super easy click for me. I don't mind like this, and I wish you could get it still. Like Putt Daddy was saying earlier in the chat there, I had a draft where I went Bijan at 7, Saquon at 18, Saquon Barkley, and then I got Devontae Smith at 31. And then I built it out more. The only guy I got sniped on was Jake Ferguson. That really hurt. Oh, there's Saquon Devontae Smith. That's an interesting build. Puka, Marvin Harrison, he gets it. That's what I really want to get that start one time. How she goes, Bubs. I'm going to go with Nico Collins. I don't have enough of him, period, and I don't have him in this tournament yet. So let's get a little unique. Let's get a little different. Don't build like this a lot. I want to try some different things, not anything crazy, but some just different things, little different things in this tournament. So 32-41. Derrick Henry or Zay Flowers is very live to be my next pick. Very, very live. I was going to go Ayuk, or JT maybe, but I like bringing up Nico here. Actually, it's right at ADP. Never mind. If I'm doing this, a lot of times I take Sam Laporta. If I go CMC and I get Debo there, I'll go Sam Laporta and just lean in on that game. Because like I was saying earlier, that's a juicy game that I am very much honing in on. That week 17, San Francisco, Detroit. I think they're projected to be the two highest scoring offenses this year, projected as it sits right now. That may or may not mean a goddamn thing, but it's something worth kind of, thinking about at least, right? I might. So I have options. I've Tank Dell and Diggs, I guess, but Tank Dell and Zay Flowers as options here. Let's go Zay. Let's go Zay Flowers. I don't think I have him yet, right? Jeez, I should have looked. But I don't think I have him yet. No, I don't. Okay. And I think I took Tank Dell tonight, didn't I? Either way. We're leaning in on that game, obviously. What's my pick? 41. So I could go... I could go Lamar, obviously, which I will do. I need to, you got to force in Lamar into your lineups. You really have to force him in. Unless Tank Dell falls to me at 41, I'll easy click Tank Dell. That's no problem. But if not, then it's going to be Lamar. This guy needs a wide receiver. Might as well go Tank Dell. Yeah. So, yeah, we're going to very purposefully click Lamar Jackson here. Lean in on this. Baltimore, Houston, obviously. I find I very, very intentionally have to very intentionally take Lamar Jackson. It's not like I don't have enough. And that's probably, 7% is not enough Lamar Jackson, in my opinion. It's just hard to stack and build out that game, obviously, with how expensive the Houston Texans are and also, Ravens as well. But this might be a double stack, double bring back. Bateman, I can bring in Rashad Bateman. You never know, Mark Andrews, maybe with this. This is a bit of an odd room so far, which I actually quite like. So obviously, if Andrews makes it back to me, I'm snap clicking him. There he goes. So there's a little bully tight end action. You see that stack for some reason happen a fair amount. McBride Andrews. I don't think I agree with that whatsoever, but not just because it kind of doesn't work for what I'm doing, but I don't think that makes a lot of sense personally. But whatever. What do I know? But this might be a double stack, double bring back type of a situation. I think I have to go wide receiver as long as Jaden Reed or Calvin Ridley are here, which they are. So Ridley. Let's go with Calvin Ridley. It's very close, that one, to be honest. It's very close, Jaden Reed and Calvin Ridley. It's just the prospect of being able to game stack that Tennessee Jacksonville that I'm doing a lot, and I want to get different combinations of it. Because then you can either go Nuke Hopkins, Brian Thomas Jr., Evan Ingram, whatever. Lots of options there. The Tennessee running backs. It's pretty common to build it out that way. But if I can get unique with some other game stacks going on here, then I will. I could have went Jaden Reed, Jordan Addison. That's kind of what I was thinking too. But we are going to go with Nuke again, which is getting a little aggressive. Very much getting a little aggressive. So my next, I think there's one more draft, right? My next draft, I absolutely will not take Nuke Hopkins. Period. Will not. But I might like what I'm building out here. We'll see. This is an interesting room. This is a different room, which I like. I like the way that this is going. To be honest, it's a little more predictable, even though it's kind of not at the same time. That makes no sense what I just said, but it is what it is. It is what it is. What I'm obviously hoping for is Evan Ingram to fall to me, which is asking a lot with 0 tight ends, with the 4 teams ahead of me. That is asking a fair amount. But I can also just take Gabe Davis later and then bring in T-Law, obviously. That's kind of what I'm leaning into. Not kind of, that's obviously what I'm leaning into. 2 more picks. That would be really nice if it happened. It's very, very live now. That would hurt my feelings. Thank you. That's nice. Now I really like what I got going on here. I really like what we're building out so far. Got to be careful with bye week 14 and 5 now for my wide receivers. A lot of times I like to go with like a Cade Otton here. I don't know if I want to go down that road with how I think I have them like 2 or 3 times already in this tournament, with there only being 10. I don't love that. And I don't need that tight end spot for any correlation realistically. Yeah, I don't at all. Well, unless I want to bring in Schultz, which maybe I do. So let's put that on the back burner. Definitely going running back here. This is just the running back spot. This is just where you take running back. It's just very, very, very juicy with all of these options. And it'll be Zamir White. I'd rather not take Jalen Warren again. Maybe I'll bring in Zach Moss if Zamir White is not there, which he is. So that's an easy click for me. Haven't clicked him yet. I like Zamir White. This is looking good. I like this build so far. So far, so good. Yeah. Where are the Jacksonville drafters? So we got Christian Kirk here, but he looks like he's going with a Chicago build. We've got BTJ. Brian Thomas Jr. Where's Waldo? Right there. It's got a little Miami, Cleveland going on. And he would really have to reach. So they're both on my left, I believe, right? Yeah, Christian Kirk, Brian Thomas Jr. Where is the ETN drafter? Right there. You really they'd all have to reach an exceptional amount because I'm taking T-Law right here at 113. So that's in a good spot. I could go Rashid Shaheed, I guess. I could go with another running back. Don't mind Brian Robinson here. Definitely not taking Pollard. Shaheed. I got to go Brian Robinson. I haven't clicked him yet. I like that. It's either Robinson or Shakir, I suppose. But we're going with Brian Robinson Jr. Build out my running back room a little bit. And I like that, the way it's looking. Then I'm going to go T-Law, as long as I don't get sniped for no good reason, which may be right here. But Badge, I think that makes sense for him to not. And he's clearly going with the Rams. You know, he did get sniped on Kyler, I suppose. But then you just buy into the Rams side of it. It'd be pretty strange if someone takes T-Law on me. But as we've seen multiple times tonight, it's happened. So Will Shipley. Will Shipley, hey? Huh. Really buying into this Philly offense. And then brings in Dak. So Cooks, why didn't you go Dak and Cooks there? I don't know. I guess just, yeah, interesting. Very interesting from Red Badge. Maybe an auto pick, probably, I would imagine, on that Shipley. All right, T-Law. Then I'm going to be looking Gabe Davis here at 128. Oh, man. It's like that. That kind of sucks. So I'm going to guess I got to try to hope one of them makes to 137. And if anyone's going to make it there, it's going to be Schultz. It would have to be Dalton Schultz. Who's at 108? At 108, what's his ADP? Who are you talking about, Putt Daddy? Oh, Will Shipley? Yeah, his ADP is 212, something like that. Had to have been an auto pick for him in his queue. Had to have been. Because obviously he's leaning into that Philadelphia offense, right? But I'm assuming he put Will Shipley in his queue and ran out of time, as we see. So with Travis Kelce, with George Kittle, with Sam Laporta, with double tight end already, I have to try to push Dalton Schultz. With already having Nico as my bring back, if I could do a double stack, double bring back with both my quarterbacks, that would be really cool. Especially when it's Baltimore's offense, and I like Jacksonville's offense personally. And even though I'm like pushing the higher kind of ADP, it just makes more sense with the way this draft room is sitting. Yeah, let's go Gabe Davis and just hope Dalton Schultz makes it to us. If he doesn't, it's really not the end of the world at all. So yeah, double stack, double bring back in the Jacksonville, Tennessee game. I like that. I got, a bring back with Zamir White in that game. I need a Pittsburgh Steeler, which is probably going to be Calvin Austin. I could do that very, very late in this draft. I could bring in Wan'Dale Robinson. I could bring in Malachi Corley, Braylon Allen. I have lots of options of players that I like. By week 12, doesn't mess with 5 or 14. That's nice. Kenny Gainwell now? Jeez, guy, this is a little silly. That's a little silly, man. Rico Dowdle. Interesting. Very interesting. So George Kittle and there goes Dalton Schultz. That sucks. I thought he was going to get to me. That's all right. It is what it is. I have to avoid. So, I mean, Jerry Jeudy, I need a little more of, or Dontavion Wicks, either one. I'm going to go Jerry Jeudy just because, in theory, he could be the, wide receiver 1, obviously, right? Like, not even in theory, he is. Well, Amari Cooper, obviously, but wide receiver 2. The wide receiver 2 in that offense. Dontavion Wicks could be wide receiver 4 or 5 even, potentially. Bo Melton. So I only have a single bring back in the Baltimore game, which is fine. That also means I don't have to bring in Bateman. If I got Dalton Schultz, I kind of have to bring in Bateman. I feel. Not getting Schultz, I think I could just stop there. Like, I definitely can just stop there. And I think I will. So I'm done at quarterback, obviously. I do need another tight end, which is easy. Hunter Henry would be actually probably where I'd want to go with that. Maybe Noah Fant. I guess I could still take Cade Otton. I think I only have him once. So Cade Otton, I guess, is on the table. Jonnu would be on the table. Jonnu's on the table. Yeah. So I have options. Oh, it's almost my pick. I should be paying attention. I have to go running back now. I would have taken Burton. I don't want to take Quentin Johnston there. I'm going to go with Kimani Vidal. Actually, let's go Jalen Wright. That's all right. I should have taken Wright because of the correlation with the running backs that I already have. Very like safe and theoretically high floor type of running backs. So Jalen Wright would have been a nice kind of boom or bust type of a running back there. So I should have taken Jalen Wright, but that's okay. It's really not the end of the world at all. Yeah, really not the end of the world at all. So by week 14 and 5, I kind of would like to avoid at wide receiver. Roman Wilson makes some sense here. Quite a bit of sense. Rashad Bateman. No, sorry. Wan'Dale Robinson, makes some sense. A lot of sense. Chuba Hubbard makes some sense. Hunter Henry could just go ahead and get that out of the way. Hunter Henry makes some sense. I suppose, no, Pop Douglas I don't love in this build. Tolbert and Brooks, this is a pretty silly build, if I'm being honest, in this structure. This is a best ball mania, sure, but you really didn't need to take those Philadelphia running backs fucking 100 picks before ADP, but it's a really silly structure in this tournament. A puppy, go nuts. Like, I don't know, whatever. It is what it is. You're doing your thing. That's a really silly build for me. Really silly. Like, ironically, it makes more sense in a Best Ball Mania than it does here. But, like, why don't you take, like, even if you take Jalen, like, Rico Dowdle and Jalen Tolbert here, you know, Dak and Dowdle right here instead of Shipley. Like, what are you doing? It's just it makes no sense. Your wide receivers, Devontae Smith, Michael Pittman Jr., Chris Godwin, and a couple scrubs for the Dallas Cowboys. This is a free square for everyone else in this draft. So really, it's one of 10 that I need to kind of beat. So good times. I do like Malachi Corley here. By week 12 is fine. Pair him up with my double stacked Trevor Lawrence. Makes more sense than Roman Wilson because I do like Calvin Austin. I can bring him in later. It's a lot of ADP value on Roman Wilson, but I mean, with the way, yeah, no. Let's go Corley because he's really like the only viable Jets option here, and I haven't clicked him yet. So let's go Corley there. If Roman Wilson's there for me, cool. Hunter Henry, done and done. So we're still just like this. I can stop at 5 running backs again for sure. Khalil Herbert is definitely a viable click here. Elijah Mitchell is a viable click. Tyrone Tracy would be okay in this, and so would Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I'm actually kind of leaning CEH, but I might not take him there. 200. Yeah. So who's there wide receiver? Marvin Mims. I could still take. Marvin Mims or Jalen McMillan, but I like Marvin Mims too much, more than Jalen McMillan. I think the opportunity is just more on the table for Mims. And with these running backs, I'm going to push them. I'm going to take Mims here. Push running back. If I can get Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I'm happy with that, and I can obviously still stop at 5. Yeah, I like this build. So we're getting warmer. The first 2 drafts of the night were hot garbage. But you're not going to like every draft you do, so it is what it is. If I like 8 of my 10, then that's fine. But if you're watching, hit that like button, hit the subscribe. I appreciate it. It's a long stream. We're going to be over 3 hours. We got one more draft to do after this. I believe only one more to do after this. So it's a long one. So we're putting in a shift tonight. Had a couple beverages. Hope you enjoy the content. Thanks for coming out. 20 in the stream watching right now. Appreciate you guys. Long shift. Longest stream I've done, that's for sure. I thought it would go a little quicker, if I'm being honest, but we are doing 6 drafts, so we're not double tabling, multi-tabling. So it is what it is. Getting a little hungry too. We'll have to eat after this. We'll be good. We'll be good. We'll make it. We'll make it. We're drafting. It's fun. It's fun. We're having fun. I'm having a good time. So we're looking at wide receivers. Obviously, all of these running backs are there. So Tyrone Tracy, I would like Edwards-Helaire more, actually. So, yeah, that makes more sense. I'll take CEH over Tyrone Tracy for sure. Wow, Jalen McMillan's still there. with where we're at ADP wise, okay, I'm not happy he's gone, but yeah, that made it a lot easier to just get CEH, and then I'm taking Calvin Austin, and then we're done. One more draft. One more draft. One more draft. And then we'll be done for the night. Iasovis is not a terrible idea, but no. I got to get some correlation with Lamar Jackson here. And I may or may not have clicked Calvin Austin. So 1 maybe max. So that's good. That's all right. John Mechie. Wow. This guy is just lost. I've drafted with the Green Goblin before, for sure. And I don't remember it being this disgusting to look at. It's really not a good draft at all. Like F- for that draft. But thanks for the free square, man. Thanks for the free square. If you're trying to cheat with a buddy or something, good luck with that. It's yeah, good luck with that. Doesn't make sense to do that, but that's okay. All right, that one's done. I like that one. Lamar Jackson, Trevor Lawrence, dig it. Bijan, Zamir White, Brian Robinson, Kamani Vidal, CEH. I like that room a lot. No overlapping bye weeks. That's good. Evan Ingram, Hunter Henry as my tight ends. I got Nico Collins, Zay Flowers, Calvin Ridley, DeAndre Hopkins, Gabe Davis, Jerry Jeudy, Malachi Corley, Marvin Mims Jr., Calvin Austin III. I like that. Single stack Lamar with the bring back in each of weeks 16, 17. Double stack Trevor Lawrence, bring back everywhere. I dig it. Double bring back at Tennessee week 17. So that's obviously what I'm leaning on there. Yeah. Nice. One more draft. We got a question in the chat. Dynasties, Superflex, win now. Not particularly what this episode's about at all, but let's give it a peek. Send Ayuk, DJ Moore, Rashad Bateman, and Adam Thielen. Receive Tyreek Hiron. Thoughts? Give me the Ayuk, DJ Moore. No, give me Tyreek Hiron. Yeah, win now. Superflex, win now. You're getting a top 3 pick in like a redraft situation, or a top 5 pick in a redraft situation with Tyreek. And in theory, Kyron's Kyron from last year. So, but the dynasty side of it, like Ayuk is probably the most lucrative or attractive piece in a dynasty format. And DJ Moore is fine as well. Bateman, there's potential there. Adam Thielen is useless regardless of anything. I would look for, it depends on which side you're getting, but I would take Thielen out and get something else, a pick, whatever. I'd rather a 3rd round pick than Adam Thielen personally. But Kyron, Tyreek would be, yeah, if that's where you're sending and receiving. Yeah. If you're win now, I like Tyreek, Kyron, win now for sure. There you go. Ryan Santoro, appreciate you. Regardless, not particularly what this show's about right now, but that's all right. We're versatile here. I think I have one more. I don't want to refresh because I have to mess with my page, but I think I have one more. 15-second. I think this is the last one. I'm going to double check after we're done this one. You'll see me enter, and if it says I can't, then there we go. Waiting on 8. If you're in the chat, you want to draft, let's do it. I'm getting clammy in here. It is hot. So hit that like button for me if you don't mind, because it is warm in this room. And you know what? I'm going to get one more beverage because it's hot and I need to stay hydrated. So I'll be back in 2 seconds. And we're back. Waiting on 4. Pretty sure this is my last one. This pit bull's taking a lot longer to fill than like it was halfway. It was like 50% full after like 2 days, 3 days, whatever. But and only being 10 max, like all the sickos just drafted like fiends. I wanted to wait a little bit, but I could have waited another day, I suppose. But either way, we're done after the weekend. It's nice. I can go into the week, not be flustered. Maybe I should have only done like 4 tonight, but fuck it. I said I was going to do it, and here we are. One last beverage. Shout out to my friends. Actually, a couple friends of mine own this distillery, Confluence Distilling in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Sound of summer. Shout out Confluence. Tasty little beverage, cool can. There you go. All right. Waiting for 2. I would love to get a top 2 pick. I have not had first or second pick yet in this pit bull. So hopefully you don't need that pick to win, because that would suck for me. I wouldn't mind getting a shot at that Puka Marvin Harrison Jr. stack I have yet to get. So give me 11 or 12. 4. All right. If you're in the chat and you're in the draft, let me know. Mr. Llama Llama. Cool. Gunners Gang. Finally made it. He finally made it first overall. Nice. Humble Legend. Definitely drafted with this guy. Don't know who it is, but I've drafted with him. Benoob. Feel like that might be somebody. Benny, maybe? I'm not sure. And that's about all I got that I know of. Potentials. So we're 4th. 4th overall. Do I want to bring up Amonra? No, I don't. Because, no. Well, then I'm really banking on Debo making it to me. I feel like I should just make this a homer draft and get Jamar Chase again. Oh, no. Then it's got to be Tyreek. What am I doing? He's just too good. What do you do? Too fast. Too skilled. Cheetah. Yeah. Probably like the best advanced piece, most consistent like advanced piece in the first round. You could even argue that more so than CMC. You could certainly make that argument. More so than Christian McCaffrey. As far as consistency is concerned, the injuries that we've seen with Christian McCaffrey in the past couple of years, right? Like, you could really certainly absolutely say that Tyreek Hill is the most consistent first round pick that you can, like, which you would say is the 101, right? But here we are. So Tyreek, it is. And then I might try to get unique from here. I might try to get a little different on this one, unless somebody falls, which then makes it unique. So whatever. Either way, I'm going to try to get unique. But I might try to get a little different here. Hopefully, if like B or Saquon is there at 28, that'd be cool. Or I will take Achane if he's there at 28. So we'll see. Or if I was going to say if Taylor was there at 21, I would take him. Or I'm going to pull somebody up. with one of these picks, you know. Oh, Achan at 16. That's keeping him in the, you know, low 20s. Picks like that. I'm glad I have a fair amount of him in the third. I guess that's in Best Ball Mania, but still. If Nico Collins is there, I'm going to take him. It is a little bit of a dip, right? Well, I'm going to take one of these two guys regardless. Either Chris Olave or Nico Collins. I'd rather Nico. Okay, that's fine. Then, yeah, let's take Olave. I haven't clicked him yet. That makes it a little bit unique. 5 picks past ADP. That makes it a little bit unique with even 1 pick past ADP. Tyreek is actually not the most ridiculously common thing, right? Especially in a time block tournament like this. So let's go that route. Definitely I'll take Debo if he's there. I would have taken Barkley for sure, but Debo won't be there. That's almost for sure. Neighbors, yeah. Devontae, Neighbors. We're really following ADP here, so might pull up Tank. It's not crazy. All right, Neighbors it is, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't clicked him yet. Trying to get some. Haven't clicked Olave, haven't clicked Neighbors. You got to get some exposure to different, combinations. You have to a little bit. And time blocks like this and only a 10 max, 12, 20 max, whatever. You gotta get some exposure to guys that you think are good players and you do believe in, which, I do think Neighbors is a good player. Little bit of a discount on him. Olave, decent amount of discount on him. I think he's a good player, No bye week overlap, which is just a bonus. That doesn't really mean anything or change anything or do anything, but it's just a little bit of a bonus. It's got to be a pretty unique combo, especially for this tournament, especially for this time block tournament. 28,000 entries. 28,000 entries. That's got to be a unique start, which is pretty rare in the through 3 rounds. If we're only through 3 rounds of the draft, and I'm pretty confident this is exceptionally unique, like it almost has to be very unique, then yeah, I'll take it. That's good. It's a good thing. I like I'm probably going to have to go with Anthony Richardson here because I don't know if I've clicked him at all. Yeah, it's certainly not very many times, maybe once. But obviously not going to reach 52. That's a little bit of a pull up, but that's okay. I have some options here. Could go Pacheco. I could go Terry McLaurin as always. I can always go Terry McLaurin. I don't mind Trey McBride because I have not clicked his name yet. Christian Kirk, I haven't taken yet. No, it doesn't make sense to pull anybody up. I don't think. Maybe Dalton Kincaid. But I don't like that. Don't need Hurts. Not enough of a drop. I'm going to go Kirk because I haven't clicked his name yet. And I don't particularly want to take Trevor Lawrence again, but that opens that door, especially if I do take Anthony Richardson, which I feel like I will, to correlate with Malik Neighbors here. I do like that game. I think it's fairly underrated, actually, the Colts Giants in week 17. I guess if Jalen Hurts was there, I would feel like I have to take him. Oh, that's a nice start. Jeez, that's a nice start. I don't know if I can get behind the Keenan Allen so much, but that's a really nice start. Finally made it. You finally made an awesome team so far. And A-Rich goes for no good reason. Cool. That's good. That's fun. Well, let's go Dalton Kincaid then. Let's go Dalton Kincaid. Yeah, so I guess he's got Michael Pittman Jr. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. That's okay. But I like this build out of the one hole. That's for damn sure. That's really nice. Gets a super falling Jalen Hurts with just a ton of value there. That's nice to pair up with Devontae, obviously. CeeDee Lamb, bring back. That's nice. That's nice. You could bring in, I guess, if you get a falling Goddard at 120, you got to click him there. But it's not something you have to force. You're definitely not going there with 97. At least I am definitely not. That's a bit too much of a reach, but this is a nice start. Really nice start. Really, really nice start. McCaffrey, Barkley, DK, Amari, and Lamar. Yeah. Jamar Chase, Mike Evans, Michael Pittman Jr., Pacheco, Anthony Richardson. I like that. Don't like that I got sniped on Anthony Richardson, but I can at least understand it, especially when you kind of brought up Michael Pittman. So now I really am leaning in on this Jacksonville side, which maybe I shouldn't have taken Kincaid, but I should maybe be able to go Nuke. I can't take Nuke. And Brian Thomas Jr. Good. Nuke went perfect. So BTJ right here is the way to go. And then I'd probably have to. I guess I have to bring it back with the running backs for sure. Is the way to go. So Brian Thomas Jr. paired up with Christian Kirk. Haven't done that one yet, so I like that. And then it's going to be Pollard or Spears, whoever works out. I can't take Ingram. Obviously, I wouldn't want to anyways, but I can't take him with Dalton Kincaid. Man, I told you about an hour ago I had a sneeze coming. That's crazy. Took some time. I could go Kamara. No, I can't because that's by week 12. Doesn't make sense with their car. So I would really like Jackson Smith and Jigba. No more week 12 wide receivers, at least until I know where I'm at. Yeah, it's definitely JSN. Easy click there. Could have went Ramondre or something or Najee and brought up a running back, but I'd rather just hammer this 0 RB build. Yeah. And see how it kind of plays out. So where are my Jacksonville competitors, if you will? We've got Evan Ingram still hasn't gone, so he's still on the board. Hopefully he does not go to the Travis Etienne drafter, which is where? Right there. Okay, should be okay. We got Tennessee. So, yeah, that sucks. I'm not taking T-Law at pick 100. So I have to hope that this guy, I don't know who he's going to take. He's got to take some sort of quarterback, but it doesn't really make sense. Joe Burrow. Does he have T by chance? No. So this guy could absolutely snipe me on T-Law right here at 112. It's kind of likely unless he takes Joe Burrow. Does he have Green Bay? No. Caleb. Could take Caleb Williams. Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, if I get sniped on him, then I get sniped on him. And then I'm still bringing in Pollard probably right here at pick 100, maybe 93. No, pick 100. Don't need to take him ahead of ADP. Some falling value with Jameson Williams makes actually a fair amount of sense. No. Well, I could take Jake Ferguson, I suppose, and then open the door for a potential falling Dak. There goes Jake Ferguson. I'm going to take the falling value at wide receiver here. And yeah, it doesn't make sense. And then that opens the door for Jared Goff if I really needed to. And I could bring in Pearsall if I wanted. Yeah, I gotta try to give myself some options, I feel like. There goes Burrow. If I get sniped on Trevor Lawrence, I get sniped on Trevor Lawrence. Not the end of the world. So Pollard is the only click here. He does end up taking Dak. I wasn't sure if he would with just keying in on the Philly side, but not a bad pairing. I do that as well. I like it. Makes sense. This is a good start. It's a good team. And he does bring, I don't agree with that. I wouldn't have done that. I'd rather push Goddard to 120 than reach pretty heavily on him there. So even if I get sniped on T-Law, I still have, double Jacksonville with a bring back in just the game stack. And then I would have to lean into Goff, I would imagine, is, the backup plan, essentially. And then I guess that brings in Carr back into the fold. Even Tua. Hawk Tua, maybe. But this is the drafter right here that I got to be concerned about sniping me on Trevor Lawrence. And it's probably, to be honest, it's the click. It makes the most sense for this guy. It really, really does. So fingers crossed he doesn't, but that is the click for him at 112 to me is Trevor Lawrence. So we'll see if he does or not. But it is what makes the most sense. And then if not, then I guess I'm free and clear. Or I should be, or I guess the ETN drafter could take him here. And then you can always bring it back with, that was the other one, Romadunze with Caleb. So Trevor Lawrence is the click. If not, the Travis Etienne drafter could take Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, it just makes the most sense. Well done. It is what it is. So I could take Adonai Mitchell, but I really need a running back here. Could take Tua, but no. So it's probably Goff. I hate this running back range. Especially with just where I'm at. Man, it's just got to be Adonai Mitchell or I don't like that, but I'm done at wide receiver, that's for sure. And then I'm going to take Goff because I'm not going to let myself get boxed out at quarterback. Yeah, the Sam Laporta drafter. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to take Goff here because I kind of feel like I have to. I'm not going to let myself get boxed out at quarterback to the point where I'm taking Tua even. Like I have no interest in Tua without any kind of bring back at all, and it's Tua. I mean, Houston indoor game and versus at home against San Francisco, that's fine. But it's a Cleveland game in Week 17. And I mean, Detroit at home, Buffalo at Chicago, that's a tough one. Then at San Francisco. Yeah. I'm going with Goff. Because I got a super discount, I feel like a nice discount, which is super rare to get wide receivers at a discount with Jameson Williams there. I can bring in Elijah Mitchell if I really want, which I might have to because it's going to get thin quick at running back. I'm done at wide receiver. I can easily get away with two tight ends, no problem. And bringing in Goff too allows me to stop at 2 depending on who I get. So like a Justin Herbert, no, can't do it by weeks. If Tua falls, which is not out of the question, then I'll take Tua. Aaron Rodgers, I guess, is viable. I mean, Will Levis, but by week 5. So I wouldn't be able to stop. Derek Carr. There you go. That's it. That's all. That's the one. Makes sense. Gino does make sense, actually, because I can get Fant. I can go with Fant as my second tight end, and then I'm done. That's a solid plan. Cousins might have been on the table, actually. I could have brought in Mooney. Yeah, I don't think Aaron Rodgers is the way to go, regardless. So let's take him out of there. I'm probably going to lean on Gino here. So it's running back for sure. That's a good click. That would make lots of sense. Kendra doesn't make sense, honestly. Even if I did plan on going Derek Carr, that doesn't make sense to me. Rico Dowdle would be okay if I had to. Ty Chandler is always viable. Yeah, it's Charbonnet. It's Charbonnet for sure. And yeah, I have to just. That makes tons of sense. And then I have to just. I can't bring it. Well, actually, like Roshan again with that Seattle build because we're pretty much done with Chicago bringbacks. It's getting thin. If I had Tua, I could go Jalen Wright, but it's going to be Jaleel McLaughlin here. Yep. Oh yeah, then it's Algier. Yeah. Yeah, then it's Algier. I don't know if I don't think I like this team very much, but it could work. It could work. So Gino, Fant. I could still bring in Roshan. Has to be. Actually, that's a really good click because he also correlates with Detroit. And it's Roshan over Khalil Herbert for sure. Has to be. Pearsall would be nice, but it's not something I can really do. So Elijah Mitchell is on the table. So yeah, we got to go Gino here. Gino, Fant, get that wrapped up if they're still available. And it's a little fragile, but it's okay. It's okay. It's a little fragile at quarterback. My tight ends are fine with Dalton Kincaid and Fant. I'm happy with that. But I'm a little fragile at quarterback. But again, that's why I took Jared Goff because he has the highest floor of those remaining quarterbacks by a large margin, in my opinion. So, yeah, I mean, Baker, Cade Otton is always viable as well, but I'm just gonna lean in on this this Seattle side, especially if I can get Roschon, which I should be able to. Oh man, Chuba Hubbard's would be a really nice pick here if I could make that happen. But I mean, I guess I could just go Gino, and I don't need Fant. Let's try that. I'm gonna go Chuba and then just Gino. I don't need Fant because I got Charbonnet and Jackson Smith in Jigba. So yeah, I don't need Fant. And I don't think I'll lose Gino. I don't think anyone would. I guess he has Lockett. Geez, and DK. I'm an idiot. I should have went Gino first, but I guess that brings in Derek Carr now. Yeah, this guy's got to take Gino here. Scoop me on Gino. That's frustrating, but I did it to myself. What are you going to do? Then it'll be Antonio Gibson. Wow, he doesn't take Gino. That's really not intelligent of you, but that's okay. Thank you. Okay. Worked out. There we go. That's what I wanted to do. There we go. Okay. Now I got to pull in another tight end. And it would always be Gesicki here, but bye weeks obviously don't let it work out. So it's like Cade Otton, but he won't be there. It's tough to scroll down with tight ends. It's really tough to scroll the F down. Michael Mayer? No. That's crazy. I'd really like Cade Otton to fall to me, which is possible, but not likely at all. Where was the Baker drafter right there? Three quarterbacks. No need whatsoever. There's Cade Otton. 3 tight ends. That's silly. When you're going Kelsey that early, I could never advise with taking 3 tight ends when you're taking a 3rd round tight end. Just doesn't make sense. And both of them did it. Oh no, he didn't. He just went to Kyle Pitts, Sam Laporta. That's fine. So Cade Otton's gone. Tight end's going to be tough for me. Might have to just go Isaiah Likely. Yeah, that's realistically all that makes sense right now. That's all that makes sense right now. At least I have an elite tight end, right? Like I can lean on Dalton Kincaid. That's fine. And if there's an injury, then I'm smashing at tight end, right? I'm smashing. Oh, never mind. This guy. Oh, I thought he was the Lamar drafter. I mean, you could still take him, and there you go. Oh, goodness gracious me. Let's go Braylon Allen and Roschon if he's there, which I hope he is. 7 RBs, 5, 4. Okay. Wow. This guy took a 6th. Okay. Hopefully this guy's done with. When you go Christian McCaffrey and Barkley, you don't need 7 running backs. You just don't. You really do not. So I hope I can get Rashawn Johnson here. If not, I guess CEH, but he's gone. Then it gets thin. If not, I guess it's going to be Dylan Laube because of the correlation. Or I take Isaac Orendo, but I really don't want to do that anymore. It hasn't looked good for him in the preseason. I thought, or in the OTAs and minicamp, I thought he would look good. Didn't really happen. This guy can't take another running back, right? No, he can't. So Roschon, that makes sense. That's good. But I mean, if I'm somewhat punting a position. I guess I could still take Mike Gesicki if he's there and just say that those two tight ends are good enough. I don't mind doing it if I have like Dalton Kincaid and Evan Ingram. I've done that a few times where it's just like these two tight ends are going to be good enough week in and week out to get me there points wise. I'm losing, you're not losing enough. So if Mike Gesicki is still there, I'm going to take him. If not, then it's really thin. Then we're really thin. Jatavian Sanders, Josh Norris's darling, Tommy Tremble. I might have been a year early on Tommy Tremble. I was taking him last year. Do I buy into that and take him again this year? If you're in the chat, tell me who you think I should take at tight end. Unless Mike Gesicki's there. If Mike Gesicki's there, I'm clicking it. I kind of have to at this point. It's too thin. And he's the only tight end that I think is viable right here, realistically, that doesn't like overlap. Like Juwan Johnson, maybe, but these guys all have two tight ends. It's not necessary. Hunter Henry. They got a lead tight end. Yeah, he should fold me. I should be able to get Mike Gesicki here. So there we go. Oh, wow, he does take a third. And it makes not a crazy amount of sense, but that's okay. Should have taken Mike Gesicki, actually. It's a better click, but there you go. I'm happy with that. I'm happy enough with that. Interesting squad. Let's see if we're done. We are done. Max enter. What a long stream. 3.5 fucking hours of talking on a microphone. I'm hot. It's hot in here. I hope you appreciate the content. Hit that like button on your way out. Appreciate you guys watching so long. I'll be back Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, one of those days. So hit that notification bell as well. I'll do a stream on one of those days, Best Ball Mania most likely. Hit that like button on your way out. Hit subscribe. Like I always say on Off the Schneid, if you're afraid to be wrong, you will never be right. Hopefully tonight on one of these teams, we were right and we binked one of these tournaments. We'll see you on the next one.